Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Vedam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavadu Tadvaktaramavadu Avadumam Avadu Vaktaram.
So, yes, sir.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sanna Mitra Samvarana Sanna Bhavatvadiyama Sanna Indra Brihaspati Sanna Vishnavaramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmavadisam Vedamavadisam Satyamavadisam Tanmamaved Tadvaktaramaved Aved Manam Aved Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahanavadu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahadevyangranavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidyadhavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Bhajaya Jodhitaya Januditatasye Bhaje Namo Namo Bhaje Namo Bhajaspadaye Namadidhyo Mandrakidhyo Mandrapadidhyo Mamamridayo Mandrakidho Mandrapadaya Padakarmahamrihe Mandrakidho Mandramade Padadam Vaisvadevi Madhamadhyasagam Sivamajastam Distam Deve Sarvamedyo Sarvaprithive Sarvavishwamidam Jagate Sarvajandrasta Suryasta Sarva Brahma Pradapati Bhonam Vadishe Bhavanam Vadishe Deyo Vadishe Yaso Vadishe Namo Vadishe Brahma Vadishe Satyam Vadishe Tasma Ahamidam Vastare Namo Vastare Vastare Namme Prajaye Vasonam Bhojadu Vastare Namaham Prajaye Vasonam Bhoya Samprana Vado Mrityo Mama Samprana Vado Mama Asistam Madhumanishe Madhumanishe Madhumachyami Madhumanishyami Madhumade Deve Bhavadamadhyasam Susrohenyam Madhishe Vastamma Deva Avanta Sophani Vinaranavandu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tachayo Narayahe Vade Yajnaya Vade Yajnapadaye Deve Swastirastu Nah Swastirmanubhebhyah Urdhvanyavadabhedham Sanno Astu Divane Sanjatushpare. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Athatmanagam Shivatmanagam Sri Rudrarupam Dhyajet. शुद्धस्फटिकसङ्काशं त्रिनेत्रं पञ्चवक्त्रकम् गङ्गाधरं दशभुजं सर्वाभरणभूषितम् नीलश्रीवं शशाङ्काङ्कं नागयज्ञोपवीतिनम् व्याघ्रतर्वोत्तरीयं च वरेण्यमभयप्रदम् कमण्डलवक्षसोत्तानाधारिणं शूलपाणिनम् ज्वलन्तं पिङ्गलजटाशिखामुद्योतधारिणम् समन्वितं महादेवाभिनम् अमृतेनामृतं शान्तं दिव्यभोगसमन्वितम् दिग्देवतासमायुक्तं सुरासुरनमस्कृतम् नित्यं च शाश्वतं शुद्धं ध्रुवमक्षरमव्ययम् सर्वौषाभिनमेशानं रुद्रं मे विश्वरूपिणम् एवं ध्यात्वा कृतः सम्यक् ततो यतनमादभेत् अथातो रुद्रस्नानार्चनाभिषेकविधिं व्याख्यास्यामः आदितये विदीर्थे स्नात्वा उदेत्य शुचिः अयतो ब्रह्मचारी शुभ्रवासा देवाभिमुखस्थित्वा आत्मनिदेवता स्थापयेत् प्रजनने ब्रह्मादिच्छतु आदयो विष्णुस्तिष्ठतु हस्तयो नरस्तिष्ठतु भागो इन्द्रस्तिष्ठतु जठरे अग्निस्तिष्ठतु हृदये शिवस्तिष्ठतु कण्ठे वसवस्तिष्ठन्तु अग्रे सरस्वती तिष्ठतु नासिकयो वायुस्तिष्ठतु नयनयो चन्द्रादित्यो तिष्ठेत कर्णयो लक्ष्मीनो तिष्ठेत ललाटे रुद्रास्तिष्ठन्तु मूर्ध्यादित्यास्तिष्ठन्तु शिरसि महादेवस्तिष्ठतु शिखायां वामदेवस्तिष्ठतु पृष्ठे पिनाकी तिष्ठतु पुरतः सूर्ये तिष्ठतु आश्रयो शिवा शङ्करो तिष्ठेत सर्वतो वायुस्तिष्ठतु ततो महिः सर्वतो विद्वानामानापरिवृतस्तिष्ठतु सर्वे सङ्घेषु सर्वा देवता यथास्थानं तिष्ठन्तु मां रक्षन्तु ॐ अग्निर्मे वातिश्रिता गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतमानः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ महागणपतये नमः ॐ भद्रं शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः पुष्पवागुंसस्तनोभिः व्यशेम देवहिनैयदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्त्वाक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ गणेशाथर्वशीर्षं व्याख्यास्यामः ते गणपतये त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं सत्तासि त्वमेव केवलं भर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं खलु विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षादात्मासि नित्यं ब्रह्मस्मि सत्यं अस्मि अवद्ब्रह्मा अववक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवधातारम् अवधातारम् वेदावानस्य महिमा अतो ज्यायागिश्च पूर्णः आलोस्य विश्वाभूतानि त्रिपादस्यामृतम् दिवि त्रिपादोर्भवुदयः पुरुषः आलोस्येह भवात्पुनः ततो विश्वम् व्यक्रामत् साक्षान्मणे अभि तस्मात् विराजदायत विराजो अभिपूरुषः स जातो अभ्यरिच्यत पश्चात् भूमिमतो पुनः यत्पूर्वेण हविषा देवायज्ञमनन्दन सन्तो अस्याधिराज्यम् ग्रीष्मयुद्धः शरद्भविः सप्तास्यादन्वनिधयः त्रिसप्तभविधः कृताः देवाय देवेन्दन्वाः अवध्यन् पुरुषम् पशुम् नैयज्ञम् बर्हिषि प्रोक्षन्ने पुरुषम् दानमद्धरः येन देवा अयजन्त साध्यायिनयश्चये तस्मात् यज्ञात् सर्वभूतः संवृतम् वृषधाज्यम् अशोकस्तारस्तग्रे वायव्याने आरण्यान् ग्राम्याश्चये तस्मात् यज्ञात् सर्वभूतः वृषसामायज्ञे सन्नागंसयज्ञे तस्मात्
दो तीन मिनट का विलंब रहेगा। प्रोफेसर राकेश शर्मा ज्वाइन करने वाले। हम विधिवत कार्यक्रम का प्रारंभ उनके आगमन के साथ करेंगे। हमारे साथ प्रोफेसर रमेश बिजलानी जुड़ चुके हैं।
Namaste.
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणं कृष्णदामोदरं वासुदेवं श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिकावल्लभं जानकीनायकं रामचन्द्रं अच्युतं केशवं सत्यभामाधवं माधवं श्रीधरं राधिकाराधितं इन्दिरामन्दिरं चेतसा सुन्दरं देवकी नन्दनं नन्दनं सन्तते
Indian Express actually to the narrative that's presented about the role of Sangh and its leadership during the independence struggle. Hedgewar was at the forefront in the fight against British rule. He rarely appeared in media, even on his birth anniversary, which falls on the first day of the Hindu New Year, that is Chaitra Shukla Pratikpada. This year it falls on March 25th, dying a few no one, not even a majority of those who vow allegiance to his ideology remember this. One reason for this is the RSS doesn't believe in celebrating individual birthdays. Because Hedgewar ensured the organization should adhere to this principle.
Namaste. Welcome you all to this Yoga Day commemoration. Welcome to the Healing Forum 2021. Professor Rakesh Sinha ji is just completing one of his other engagements and would be joining us. He just said, let's move forward. So सभी गुरुजनों को प्रणाम, बहुत कोटि कोटि प्रणाम, क्योंकि आज योग की बात है. Yoga is not just acrobatics alone. It's a whole parampara. It's a whole tradition of knowledge. And more than the verb of it, more than the whole practice of it, it has multiple dimensions of it. And today, on this auspicious occasion of the 7th Yoga Day, the International Yoga Day, we are also commemorating the 82nd Punyatithi of Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar, who was a medico himself. And he created one of the biggest volunteer organizations of the whole world, which would be completing almost a century, 100 years of its own existence in 2025. So today we have a galaxy of people from various quarters. We are really privileged. I'm Raghav Mittal, and with me Dr. Surbhi Vash Mittal. Yeah, Rakesh Sinha sir is just coming over. He's just logging into the Zoom. Yeah. So the whole purpose behind this entire forum was just to commemorate the integrationist efforts of the Indic pantheon, we can say, and of which Dr. Hedgewar himself is quite a glaring testimony. For 100 odd years, an organization has been creating that flame of nationalism. Sorry, yeah. So we have been okay. So
दो जुड़ गए क्या?
So we'd like to welcome Professor Dr. Yogendra Gupta sir, who has graced this occasion with us. Very hearty welcome to you. We have with us Acharya Kalki Krishna ji, who has joined us. Professor Dr. Anup Mishra sir has graced this occasion. We are so indebted, sir, that you have made out time from such a busy schedule, and that too amidst such this pandemic situation. And you are really on the forefront of it all. We have also been joined by Dr. Anurag Agrawal. Dr. Aarti Verma has also joined us, one of the doyens of quality narrative across. We have been joined by Dr. Mankul Goyal. He's a consultant dermatologist with Sitaram Research Institute of Sitaram Bhartiya. We have also been joined by Professor Moni Madhaswamy, who is the Director General of the National Informatics Center, one of the doyens of technology across the governance domains, and his project in 1980s, the DISNIC project, something the DISNIC project, which really created a district level assets of the national governance, perhaps. So Professor Moni is now leading the narrative of healthcare and technology at Shobit University, Meerut. We have also been joined by Mr. Naresh Hasija, who is the Vice President at Viatris, and thanks to Viatris that they came out to support this entire team, and because of their support, we would be able to really send some beautiful citations in print to all the recipients of this small token tribute to their phenomenal work, which they have done throughout their lifetimes and really created the foundations of, I would say, the Indic paradigm of healthcare, which all of you have really shown through a silent but a substantive decades of work which has been there. We have been joined by Vaidya Ram Manohar ji, who is leading the research at the Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. He was with the Arya Vaidya Pharmacy, the legendary Vaidya Krishna Kumar ji is under his tutelage, and taking the narrative further and forward of an integrative space. We have the gracious, I would say, the privilege to have Ramesh Bijlani sir, jinka naam hi kafi hai. From a first principles physiological perspective, sir has really inspired an entire generation of Amazonians, the younger emerging lots, of which Dr. Mankul, Dr. Pankaj Verma, Dr. Sunny Sandhu, a whole lot of people who are really inspired by his mesmerizing personality. And today we are talking about the integral healing. भारत में समग्रता का दर्शन हमेशा से रहा है, टुकड़ों में देखने का भाव नहीं रहा. तो श्री अरविंद की जो 150वीं जयंती समारोह चल रहा है, तो डॉक्टर रमेश बिजलानी's presence is really so very heartening to all of us. We have also been joined by Acharya Veda Ravi Shankarji from Madurai. Veda Ravi Shankarji is working tremendously. His Guru Dev and his entire institution worked with our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And they have been researching from the empirical and the experiential perspectives of the entire Vedic paradigm, the Vedic pedagogy of mantra vigyan and the impacts of the astrological aspects on human health. So that's where the integral aspects do come into play. So yeah, sir is there? Okay. So moving forward, I would be coming to this keynote address of Professor Rakesh Sinha sir the moment he joins in. What is the purpose? On the 83rd birth anniversary of our beloved President Pranab Mukherjee, ReTHINK India had the similar privilege of having a galaxy of edu leaders from across the country. We call academia as the fifth and the foremost estate, which really drives the entire narrative of the country. All the other states, the bureaucracy, the judiciary, the executive, it all accrues from the academy, and India has always been the Vishwa Guru, the knowledge civilization. So over there, we just asked a question. One of our patrons and associates, Mr. Aurobindo Saxena, who is there in the audience, he came up with the idea that Raghav, everyone is talking about the fourth industrial revolution, the convergence of the various technologies, the mechanization, the water power, the steam power was the first industrial revolution. Then it went on for the mass production assembly line and electricity, and which graduated to computers and automation. And today, when we are talking about cyber physical systems, we are talking about artificial intelligence and a host of other technologies, automation in manufacturing in a big lot. But this has exponentiated VUCA, the volatility, the uncertainty, the complexity and ambiguity which we are all facing, and COVID is truly the manifestation of that VUCA word. So can we do something? Can we extrapolate a bit and really bring about the Indic paradigm somewhere or the other into these material sciences, some of the mantra sciences, some of the things which are manishis, which are rishis, which are whole knowledge paradigm over centuries has really seen, and create the fifth industrial revolution? Can India lead that fifth industrial revolution? And if you see that, if we write the acronym of fifth industrial revolution, it looks like 5 looks like an S. So it becomes sthir, stability. स्थिरता की जो बात है कि मन और बुद्धि और अहंकार की जो स्थिरता प्राप्त करनी है. आज योगा दिवस है, and we have with us Dr. Sunny Sandhu joining us from France. Being an Amazonian, he has taken up music in such a fabulous fashion. So yes, we would like to welcome Professor Rakesh Sinha sir, who has just come. I would just come back to his keynote address quickly, just run up with this Industry 5.0, India's industrial revolution. So we created a paper, and on the 83rd birth anniversary of our President Pranab Mukherjee, we really posited this question to the fifth estate, the higher education institutions from JNU to Symbiosis to the whole lot. Can India offer its civilizational wisdom and intellectual traditions to steer through the contemporary material advances to lead the world towards a stable epoch of lasting peace and prosperity? Can the characteristic Indian thought on the philosophical foundations of human existence, social order, education, economy, polity, governance, administration, management, environment, development come to an aid? Can the Indian techno-managerial paradigms concerning food, healthcare, water, waste, sanitation, housing, defense, security, energy, space, transportation, etc., present an additional leeway to the ongoing discourse? And can India lead this impending fifth industrial revolution, which would be stable, universal, and all-encompassing? And we asked this question, that is the fifth estate of India galvanized enough for taking up the leadership of this emerging narrative, of India's industrial revolution. And today we are really fortunate that we have got such a galaxy of luminaries from various walks of our national life, pertaining especially to the domain of healthcare, who are actually doing it all in their own exemplary manner. And the need is just to integrate all their efforts and to really present and pose it to the entire world that this is India's century. It is not just coming from emotional sentimentalism or superficial chatter, but we have a substantive base. We have one of the indigenous vaccines our scientists could create. We had the great fortune to felicitate the National Institute of Virology on the National Technology Day. Dr. Priya Abraham was present over there. So we have so many accomplishments to our foray. So this is again, we just recapitulated where we were coming from. We have the great fortune of having Professor Rakesh Sinha. He is a member of parliament, the chairperson of many of the parliamentary committees, and the biggest his परिचय, उनका जो सबसे बड़ा परिचय है कि he has authored one of the most authentic biographies of Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar, whom we all call, as belovedly call, Dr. Ji, remembering Dr. Ji, one of the biggest organizers and integrators par excellence. उनकी पुण्यतिथि पर हमारे भारतवर्ष में जन्म दिवस से ज्यादा पुण्यतिथि को मनाने का प्रावधान ज्यादा है, क्योंकि तभी जीवन का, पूर्ण जीवन का जो वैभव है वहां प्रस्तुत होता है और उसको हम लोग उस लेगेसी को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए कृत संकल्पित होते हैं. Dr. Hedgewar, as I told, he was a medical doctor from the Calcutta Medical College way back in 1916, and his philosophy had always been for a rational, reasoned and scientific discourse. One of the most important quote which we found, and we felt like as recently Shri Ram Madhav ji, in one of his articles, he wrote that it is very easy to misunderstand RSS. And it is difficult to understand the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, which has really inflamed the whole spirit of nationalism, the Indian nationalism, from its core anchorings, from the first principles. Accept only that which stands to your reason. Never accept anything merely because it is preached by some great leader. Test its truth on the touchstone of your intellectual discrimination. So this is what the Indic paradigm of Nirikshan, Parikshan, Sarvekshan, which we have lived all through millennia altogether. Dr. Hedgewar was an organizer and integrator par excellence. He laid the foundations of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, which predates every political organization in the country, and plausibly the world's largest volunteer corps, to propound and penetrate the fascination of Indian nationalism in all its majestic splendor across the nook and cranny of the country, anchored deeply into the civilizational values and virtues of Bharat. मैं निवेदन करूंगा राकेश सिन्हा जी से कि वो अपना उद्बोधन इस मंच पर इन सभी सम्मानीय जनों के सामने कि कैसे डॉक्टर जी ने पूरे भारत को इंटीग्रेट किया. तो इन द लिमिटेड कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ हेल्थ केयर, कैन वी रियली टेक दिस प्लंज of really having an integrative and preventive healthcare ecosystem for Bharatvarsh, and also throw some light on the persona of Dr. Ji, about whom quite little is known in these circles. Professor Rakesh Sinha.
Thank you. And I first congratulate ReTHINK India for connecting the people from various sections of society and taking a holistic approach to resolve the question of health technology. And I think this is an onerous task before the country of this country. Onerous task because while non-Indians, particularly Western countries, believe that technology is the soul of development, we in India believe that technology must be humanized. Without humanizing this technology, we cannot achieve the goal of human welfare. Therefore, humanism, humanity, and welfare of the human society, humanity, is ultimate goal. It should be ultimate goal, whether it is the health sector, technology, education. Therefore, I consider the role of such organizations and pressure groups, particularly think tank, which particularly lacks in India. You know, the think tanks are playing vital role in the Western countries, but in India, there are very few think tanks. and most of the think tanks are using the platform just for the sake of particular work, not policy for formulation, policy advocacy, and therefore your role is very important. Now I am coming to Dr. Hedgewar ji. Today is the day when we lost the great figure. देखिए 1931 में कोलकाता में एक आशुतोष मेमोरियल लेक्चर हुआ था। वो लेक्चर देने वाले कृष्णचंद्र भट्टाचार्य, केसी भट्टाचार्य, संभवतः यदि केसी भट्टाचार्य वेस्ट में पैदा लेते तो वे सिलेबस का हिस्सा होते। कृष्णचंद्र भट्टाचार्य ने एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण बात, बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट चीज की ओर देश का ध्यान लाया था, स्वराज इन आइडिया। उन्होंने कहा कि जब पॉलिटिकल स्लेवरी, पॉलिटिकल डिपेंडेंस इज मोर विजिबल when one person dominates other, one country dominates other, that is a very visible factor. But when an idea dominates the other, or a particular culture dominates the other culture, that remains intangible, invisible. इसलिए उन्होंने कृष्णचंद्र भट्टाचार्य ने कहा था, वो बोलते हुए उन्होंने कहा अंत में कि आज मुझे भी यदि बांग्ला भाषा में बोलने के लिए कहा जाता तो मैं अपनी बात को ठीक से नहीं रख पाता। ठीक उसी साल महात्मा गांधी ने एक लेक्चर लंदन में दिया था, रॉयल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंटरनेशनल अफेयर में, जिसमें उन्होंने ब्रिटेन से कहा था द ब्यूटीफुल ट्री पेरिस्ट। उन्होंने कहा जो भारत की शिक्षा व्यवस्था थी, जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम था, वह समाप्त कर दिया ब्रिटेन ने। इन दो लेक्चर्स को देखकर महात्मा गांधी और दूसरा कृष्णचंद्र भट्टाचार्य को देखकर हम डॉक्टर हेडगेवार जी को जोड़ना चाहते हैं। What is the significance of being Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar? Is it only that he formed a particular organization which advocates Hindu Rashtra? Or is it because he sacrificed his life for creating certain people who are dedicating their lives for the country? यह इतना ही नहीं। This is not the significance. And I consider that understanding RSS is the most easy task. It is difficult for you to understand yourself. When you understand yourself, you can understand anything, a devil or a deity. If you don't understand yourself, your idea is not clear, you are vague about your own idea, your own mind, your own perspective, your own goal, then it is very difficult to understand your own path of life. Therefore, I consider that it is very simplified life of Dr. Hedgewar, a very simplified activities of the RSS. देखिए डॉक्टर हेडगेवार एक बहुत ही गरीब परिवार में जन्म लिया था, और अभी जो महामारी एपिडेमिक का समय चल रहा है, ठीक वैसा ही वक्त वह था जब उनके माँ और पिता दोनों ही प्लेग से एक ही दिन दोनों का निधन हुआ, स्वर्गवास हुआ। और डॉक्टर हेडगेवार एक जस्ट लाइक ए ऑर्फन, ही वाज पार्ट ऑफ द नागपुर सोसाइटी। लेकिन एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट के लिए, किसी भी मनोवैज्ञानिक के लिए एक चुनौती होती है कि किसी बच्चे में ऐसी भावना क्यों आती है। मैंने कई बायोग्राफीज पढ़ने की कोशिश की ये समझने के लिए। डॉक्टर हेडगेवार जी की बायोग्राफी लिखने से पहले मैंने कई बायोग्राफीज को टटोला, कई साइकोलॉजिस्ट से बात किया कि ऐसा क्यों होता है। एक छोटा बच्चा जब क्वीन विक्टोरिया का के बारे में एक सेलिब्रेशन मनाया जा रहा था, वो हेडगेवार जी की आयु कुछ भी नहीं थी, 7 साल के आयु का बच्चा, यदि उसको मिठाई दी जाती है और कहता है वो हमारी महारानी नहीं है, शी इज नॉट माई क्वीन, और उन्होंने अपनी मिठाई को फेंक दी। यह इसलिए इमेजिनरी नहीं है, साधारणतः लोग बहुत महान होते हैं तो उनके बारे में कई तरह की काल्पनिक कहानियां आती और अतिशयोक्तिपूर्ण एग्जीक्रेटेड फैक्ट परोसा जाता है। दिस इज नॉट दैट सिचुएशन। ही इज वन ऑफ द फ्रेंड्स, अमरेंद्र, who was his classmate during his school days in Neil School in Nagpur. He wrote this in a Marathi paper, Maharashtra, in 1940. And there are many students who were his classmates. They wrote all these things. In 1940, जब डॉक्टर हेडगेवार जी का निधन हुआ, तो 40 में 1940 में इतने आर्टिकल्स लिखे जाने लगे, इतनी कविताएं उन पे भेजी जाने लगी कि अखबार को घोषित करना पड़ा, डिक्लेयर करना पड़ा कि अब हम आगे से कोई भी आर्टिकल या कोई भी एक उनके बारे में कोई भी कंट्रीब्यूशन को स्वीकार नहीं करे। मैं जो बात कहना चाहता हूँ, these are not so important thing. What is the important thing that कि फ्रीडम मूवमेंट के दौरान हम सबका कंट्रीब्यूशन था, whether it was महात्मा गांधी, सुभाष चंद्र बोस, अलग अलग पर्सपेक्टिव थे। What was contribution of Dr. Hedgewar which makes him distinct, characteristically distinct from others? That is the point which needs to be understood. तो उसमें डॉक्टर जी का क्या था? उन्होंने भारत की आयु को देखना शुरू किया था, द एज ऑफ इंडिया, द स्पैन ऑफ आवर सिविलाइजेशन। दूसरे लोग यूरोप के चश्मे से भारत की आयु को देखते थे। यूरोप ने क्या चश्मा दिया? वह हमारा शताब्दी या हमारा जो सेंचुरी शुरू होता है, हमारा जो कैलेंडर शुरू होता है, ईसा मसीह के साथ शुरू होता है। तो पहले एडी और बीसी, बिफोर क्राइस्ट एंड आफ्टर डेथ। अब हमने उसको चेंज किया कंटेम्पररी एरा एंड बिफोर कंटेम्पररी एरा। लेकिन मैं जो कहना चाहता हूं कि यूरोप ने हमें एक चश्मा दिया, वो टाइम फ्रेम का चश्मा दिया। वो यूरोप ने एक हमें लेंस दिया, वो लेंस वो एक हिस्ट्री का लेंस। डॉक्टर हेडगेवार ने उस लेंस से हिंदुस्तान को बाहर करने की कोशिश की। He understood India in terms of his civilizational journey, trajectory of India before British period, before Mughal period. That is a long history of India. Recently, a statue was found, and that was declared 29,000-year-old statue. So he considered history of India more than what Britishers defined, what Mughals defined. That is one of the major contribution of Dr. Hedgewar, linking the trajectory of history of India right from the Vedic period. हम क्या करते हैं कि हम जो भी देखते हैं वो एक ब्रिटिश पीरियड की नजर से, ब्रिटिश हिस्टोरियन की नजर से देखते हैं। उस दौरान से उन्होंने क्या किया कि भारत की जो मूल पिंड, यानी जो कॉन्शियसनेस इंडिया का है, दैट इज ए कल्चरल। India is united because it believes in culture. It is the culture which unites the nation. And it is the culture which creates diversities. तो डाइवर्सिटी जो हमारी है उसका भी कारण कल्चर है और यूनिटी का भी कारण कल्चर है। तो एक लंबी जो इंडिया की यात्रा है 10,000 साल की, इसलिए उन्होंने जो कहा वो 3 बातों की ओर पॉइंट आउट किया, जो मैं कहना चाहता हूँ। आज अन्य बातों पर सेमिनार है, 3 बातें जो उन्होंने कहा। देखिए, अपनी मेडिकल शिक्षा प्राप्त करके जब कलकत्ता गए तो उन्होंने क्रांतिकारी आंदोलन में अपने आप को शामिल किया, और जब कलकत्ता से वापस आए, सेंट्रल प्रोविंसेस कहा जाता था, उसमें 3 महाराष्ट्र था, मध्य प्रदेश भी शामिल था, विदर्भ पूरा था। तो उसमें सिर्फ 75 डॉक्टर्स होते थे। बहुत ही गरीब परिवार से डॉक्टर हेडगेवार हुआ करते थे। तो जब 75 डॉक्टर्स थे तो लोगों को आशा थी डॉक्टर हेडगेवार प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, लेकिन डॉक्टर हेडगेवार को लगा कि हमारी जरूरत आज उस नेशन के उस हेल्थ की डायग्नोसिस की है जिसके कारण भारत बार बार पराधीन हो जाता है। पराधीनता सिर्फ राजनीतिक संदर्भ में ही नहीं होता है, नॉट ओनली पॉलिटिकल कॉन्टेक्स्ट बट ऑल्सो कल्चरल कॉन्टेक्स्ट। इसीलिए अफ्रीका का नगुगुई ने, एक बड़े थिंकर हैं, उन्होंने 1976 में 1986 में डिकोलोनाइजिंग द माइंड करके किताब लिखा है। तो ठीक उसी प्रकार डॉक्टर हेडगेवार ने कहा कि हमारी पराधीनता क्यों होती है, क्यों बार बार हम गुलाम होते हैं। तो उन्होंने 2 कारण बताए। पहला कारण बताया, एक तो हम जो सब समझते हैं कि बाहर से खून आए, शक आए, मुगल्स आए, अंग्रेज आए, एक कारण तो सबको दिखाई पड़ता, दैट इज विजिबल, टेंजिबल, जिसकी टेंजिबिलिटी हम देखते हैं। लेकिन दूसरा उन्होंने कारण कहा, दिस इज द वीकनेस ऑफ द कंट्री। उन्होंने कहा जब मुगल आए थे या जब अंग्रेज आए थे तो ऐसा नहीं था कि हमारे राजाओं के पास, राज्य के पास शस्त्र नहीं था, आर्म्स नहीं था, एम्यूनिशंस नहीं था। ऐसा नहीं था कि हमारे पास लड़ने वाले लोग नहीं थे, हमारे पास सेनानी नहीं थे, यानी आर्मी नहीं थी। सब राज्यों के पास आर्मी थी, सबके पास आर्मामेंट्स था, लेकिन हम डिफीट होते रहे। तो इसका कारण क्या था? वो सेक्टेरियनिज्म, प्रिवेल्ड सेक्टेरियनिज्म। हम नैरो फीलिंग के से ग्रस्त हो गए और हेजिमनी की बैटल को नैरो हेजिमनिक बैटल लड़ते रहे। प्रोविंशियलिज्म आ गया, इंडिविजुअलिज्म आ गया, कास्टिज्म आ गया, अनटचेबिलिटी की समस्या आ गई। तो सोसाइटी बिकेम ए फ्रैक्चर्ड सोसाइटी। सिविल सोसाइटी इसको कहते हैं जो फ्रैक्चर्ड नहीं होता है। जिसमें वननेस की फीलिंग होती है, डाइवर्सिटीज के साथ एक वन कॉन्सियसनेस होता है। ये कॉन्सियसनेस, ऑल इंडिया कॉन्सियसनेस, इट इज लैकिंग। इस पॉइंट पर डॉक्टर हेडगेवार ने राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ की स्थापना की। इसलिए आरएसएस को उन्होंने एक नॉन पॉलिटिकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रखा। इसीलिए 1925 से लेकर आज तक राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ राजनीति में डायरेक्ट हस्तक्षेप नहीं करता है, डायरेक्ट पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करता है। इसकी बड़ी फॉलोइंग के बावजूद संघ ट्राइबल एरिया में, संघ समाज के गरीब तबकों में, एजुकेशन के एरिया में, डिफरेंट फील्ड में काम करता है। एकल विद्यालय चलाता है। आज लगभग 55,000 एकल विद्यालय उन क्षेत्रों में चल रहा है जहां स्टेट और एनजीओ नहीं पहुंच पाए। खैर ये एक अलग प्रश्न है। तो डॉक्टर जी ने इसीलिए संघ की स्थापना की कि लोगों में एक फीलिंग आए। तो मैं एक घटना का जी 2-3 बात कह के मैं अपनी बात समाप्त करूंगा। 1934 में महात्मा गांधी वर्धा में, जमनालाल बजाज कांग्रेस के बड़े नेता थे, उनके घर पे, जमनालाल बजाज के घर पे वो ठहरे हुए थे। उसी पास उन्होंने देखा कुछ लोग बहुत अनुशासित तरीके से कुछ काम कर रहे हैं, टेंट लगा रहे हैं, बाकी काम कर रहे हैं, परेड कर रहे हैं। तो गांधी जी में एक उत्सुकता होती थी। गांधी जी एक ऐसे व्यक्ति थे जिन्हें प्रेजुडिस नहीं होता था, पूर्वाग्रह नहीं होता था। गांधी जी ऐसे व्यक्ति थे जो यूनिटी ऑफ अपोजिट्स की बात करते थे। उनको अगर दो अपोजिट होता था तो बाइंड्री नहीं, उसको और यूनाइट करने की बात करते। ही ऑलवेज एक्सपेरिमेंटेड विद दैट। तो उनको पता नहीं था, आरएसएस एक छोटा संगठन था 34 में। तो उन्होंने कहा मैं देखना चाहता हूँ कौन लोग। जब वो गए तो लोगों से पूछताछ की क्या है। उन्होंने कहा हमारा एक कैंप लगने वाला है। तो फिर उन्होंने पूछा तुम्हारी जाति क्या है। गांधी ने इसलिए पूछा कि महाराष्ट्र में उस वक्त ब्राह्मणिज्म और महार, दो जातियों के बहुत संघर्ष चला था। महार वो जाति है जो बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर जिसको बिलोंग करते थे, और ब्राह्मण्स डोमिनेशन तो था ही। तो स्वयंसेवकों ने अपनी जाति नहीं बताई, कास्ट नहीं बताया। तो बार बार पूछने पर जब नहीं बताया तो एक अधिकारी ने, संघ के एक ऑफिस बेरर ने उन्हें कहा कि स्वयंसेवकों को एक तरह से सजेस्ट किया कि आप बता दीजिए। तो एक ने कहा मैं देशस्थ ब्राह्मण हूँ, दूसरे ने कहा मैं महार हूँ। दोनों एक साथ बैठे हुए थे। तो गांधी ने पूछा कहाँ खाते हो, कैसे रहते हो। तो गांधी वॉज एस्टोनिश्ड कि जिस काम के लिए बड़ी यात्रा, उन्होंने एक हरिजन यात्रा निकाली थी, 12,000 मील चले थे हरिजनों और समाज के कथित रूप से उच्च वर्ग में एक समरसता लाने के लिए, एक यूनिटी। वो उन्होंने लगा ऐसा तो मैं नहीं कर पाया। प्रभावित हुए लोग। फिर उन्होंने कहा ऐसा कैसे हुआ, कौन है इसके संस्थापक। तो डॉक्टर हेडगेवार का नाम आया। हेडगेवार जी नहीं थे, बाद में उनसे मिलने गए। तो कहने का तात्पर्य है कि उस एक और घटना बताता हूँ किस तरह से ये घटना 1930s की है। जब डॉक्टर हेडगेवार को मालूम हुआ कि एक बालिका यानी उसकी 11 साल की बच्ची की शादी एक 42 इयर्स के व्यक्ति के साथ हो रही, डॉक्टर हेडगेवार अपने स्वयंसेवकों के साथ गए और बच्ची को मंडप से उठाकर ले आए। अब इमेजिन कीजिए, कंजर्वेटिव महाराष्ट्र, उस महाराष्ट्र में इस तरह का एक्शन लेना, वह भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के हेड के द्वारा, हाउ मच ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वुड हैव बीन डैमेज्ड। लेकिन संगठन का फैलाव, एक्सपेंशन ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन is not important, expansion of the idea is important. Idea never remains in the form of an expanded form, but it always remains in the form of a seed. Idea कभी भी बड़े रूप में, मूर्त रूप में नहीं होता है, टेंजिबल नहीं होता है। आइडिया हमेशा इंटेंजिबल होता है, बहुत छोटा सीड होता है। वो छोटा सीड जैसे ही आपके ब्रेन में जाता है वो आपको ट्रांसफॉर्म कर देता है। आप सन्यासी बन जाते हैं, आप डॉक्टर बन जाते हैं, ह्यूमैनिटेरियन बन जाते हैं, हम डाकू भी बन सकते हैं, हम एक ब्लैक मार्केटियर्स बन सकते हैं, और उंगली मार डाकू एक बड़ा सन्यासी भी बन सकता है। तो दैट इज द आइडिया। वही डॉक्टर हेडगेवार के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट यह नहीं था कि हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में लोगों की संख्या बढ़े, उनके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट था जो आइडिया है वो सीड, और जो सीड होता है वो उसी वक्त फल नहीं देता है। सीड नेवर गिव्स इट्स फ्रूट्स द सेम टाइम। आप सीड डालते हैं, वो सीड फल 2 साल बाद, 4 साल बाद, 10 साल बाद देता है। इसलिए मैं कहता हूं जिन लोगों ने बीज बोया, इसलिए बाकी लोगों के समय के साथ बाकी लोगों का शैडो छोटा होता जा रहा है और डॉक्टर हेडगेवार का शैडो बढ़ता जा रहा है। डॉक्टर हेड जी को अपने जीवन में किसी ने कहा एक बायोग्राफी लिखने के लिए, मैं आप पे बायोग्राफी लिखना चाहता हूँ। तो उन्होंने उत्तर दिया कि मेरा जीवन चरित्र में कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं है, उल्लेखनीय नहीं है कि आप मेरी बायोग्राफी लिखें। और एक संघ के व्यक्ति ने उनके स्पीच का संकलन किया और उनसे फॉरवर्ड लिखने के लिए कहा, तो उन्होंने रिफ्यूज किया। तो पब्लिसिटी से बाहर रहकर समाज के लिए काम करना और समाज में उदाहरण के द्वारा ऐसे लोगों को तैयार करना, जैसे कहते हैं चैरिटी बिगिंस फ्रॉम होम, तो ऐसे लोगों को तैयार करना जो लोग उसी भावना से काम कर सकें। ये डॉक्टर हेडगेवार जी का एक बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन था और उसी कंट्रीब्यूशन में आरएसएस की स्थापना किया है। इस पर अनेक प्रकार की भ्रांतियां हैं। भ्रांतियों का कारण आरएसएस नहीं है, भ्रांतियों का कारण वह है जो अखबारों के द्वारा आरएसएस को जानना चाहते हैं। डॉक्टर मोहन भागवत जी जो सरसंघ चालक हैं, उन्होंने कहा है कि यदि संघ को समझना है तो परम पूज्य सरसंघ चालक जी ने कहा तो संघ के नजदीक आकर संघ को देखिए, फिर इसका भला और बुरा के अनुसार आप मत बनाइए। अंत में मैं एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ, समय कम है, आप लोग डिबेट करेंगे इस पर, बहुत प्रश्न है। डॉक्टर जी एक समर्थ रामदास थे जो शिवाजी के गुरु होते थे और मुगल काल में समर्थ रामदास ने जो दासबोध लिखा बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। क्योंकि भारतीय भाषाओं को आजादी के बाद ही 70 साल में मलयालम, मराठी, बंगाली, उड़िया, ये सब भारतीय भाषाएं ब्रिटिश जो वर्नाकुलर बना सके वर्नाकुलर बनकर ही रह गए, जिसका कारण जो हमारी वास्तविक प्रतिभा है उसकी पूरी ताकत अंग्रेजी सीखने में, अंग्रेजी भाषा को जानने में, अंग्रेजी में अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करने में चली जाती है। बाकी 50% जो उसका सामर्थ्य बचता है उसमें अपनी प्रतिभा का प्रदर्शन करता है। He achieves his talent only in 50%. The rest of the 50% he spends in learning English, articulating his thoughts in English. इस प्रॉब्लम से भारत को निकालने के लिए डॉक्टर हेडगेवार ने कहा था कि भारतीय भाषाओं को महत्व देना चाहिए। हमारा भारतीय भाषाओं में जो डाइवर्सिटीज है, ये ट्रेजर है, एसेट है। उस एसेट को हम कैसे यूज करते हैं ये हम पर निर्भर करता है, हमारी दृष्टि कितनी। तो डॉक्टर हेडगेवार एक समर्थ रामदास का एक वाणी लिखा करते, बोलन्या सारखे चालने, समर्थ रामदास जी ने कहा था बोलन्या सारखे चालने, स्वयं करुणी बोलने, जैसा कहें वैसा करें, प्रथम करें तब बोले। आज समाज में समस्या वही है, हर लोग प्रवचन करते हैं, हर लोग अच्छी बातें करते हैं, हर लोग समाज की वेलफेयर की बात करते हैं, लेकिन व्यक्ति में आकर सिमट जाते हैं। वो व्यक्तिवाद उनमें कूट हुआ, वो व्यक्तिवाद भी बहुत ही अल्ट्रा इंडिविजुअलिज्म। इसलिए डॉक्टर जी ने कहा था, और डॉक्टर हेडगेवार का 3 कंट्रीब्यूशन जो 3 पंक्तियों में कहकर अपनी बात समाप्त करता हूँ। एक, व्यक्तिवाद से बाहर आना, कमिंग फ्रॉम द इंडिविजुअलिज्म, और इंडिविजुअलिज्म से बाहर आ जाएंगे तो एक आपका फैमिली एक्सपेंड कर जाता है, नेशन एक फैमिली, जैसा आप कर रहे हैं समाज के लिए काम करना, जो आज के डॉक्टर्स कर रहे हैं, तो फैमिली को एक्सपेंड करना। इसीलिए जब 1928 में संघ की स्थापना के 3 साल बाद एक गुरु पूजा का कार्यक्रम घोषित हुआ, तो सब लोगों को अनुमान था उस वक्त जितने भी स्वयंसेवक थे नागपुर में कि शायद डॉक्टर हेडगेवार जी की हम पूजा करेंगे। सबके मन में ही था हमारे गुरु वही हैं, क्योंकि ही वाज द फाउंडर ऑफ दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ही वाज इंस्पिरेशन फॉर द पीपल। तो कुछ लोगों को था नहीं शिवाजी की पूजा होगी, डॉक्टर जी शिवाजी को आदर्श मानते थे। कुछ लोगों को लगा शिवाजी के जो गुरु थे समर्थ रामदास की पूजा होगी। डॉक्टर जी ने कहा नहीं, एवरी इंडिविजुअल इज फॉलिबल, कोई भी व्यक्ति फॉलिबल नहीं। ऐसा देखते हैं बहुत महान लोगों को हम देखते हैं कि 50-60 साल अच्छे काम करते हैं, अंत में उनके बारे में हमें ऐसी बातें पता चलता है, हम रिग्रेट करते हैं, रिपेंट करते हैं। तो उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, तत्व में हमें विश्वास करना चाहिए। तो उन्होंने भगवा ध्वज को पूजा किया, उसमें गुरु माना। ये संघ का एक पहला महत्वपूर्ण योगदान है। दूसरा, इंडिविजुअलिज्म से बाहर निकालकर कलेक्टिविज्म, एक तो नकारात्मक पक्ष हुआ इंडिविजुअल से बाहर निकलना, एक सकारात्मक पक्ष हुआ कि आप समाज के लिए समय दीजिए, आप अपने व्यवसाय के लिए देते हैं, परिवार के लिए देते हैं, अपने शरीर और स्वास्थ्य के लिए देते हैं, तो आपका कुछ समय, वो कोई टोटलिटेरियन नहीं है कि आपको इतना देना ही है, वॉलंटरली आप कितना समय समाज के लिए देते हैं प्रतिदिन। यदि शाम को आप डायरी में लिखते हैं कि आज मैंने अपने लिए क्या किया, बच्चों के लिए क्या किया, परिवार के लिए क्या किया, और मैंने अपने समाज के लिए क्या किया, यदि हम इंट्रोस्पेक्शन करेंगे तो शायद ये इंट्रोस्पेक्शन हमको प्यूरिफाई करता है। तो कलेक्टिविज्म की एक फीलिंग थी, कोई भी काम करें तो कलेक्टिव एक्शन, जो भारत में पंच व्यवस्था थी। तीसरा जो उन्होंने जो महत्वपूर्ण चीजें कही कि डाइवर्सिटी जो हमारी है वो आइडेंटिटी नहीं, डाइवर्सिटीज आर नॉट आइडेंटिटीज। जो यूरोप करता है, इस्लाम, हिंदू, क्रिश्चियन, ट्राइबल और जातियां, ये आइडेंटिटीज जब बनती है तो कॉम्पिटिंग हो जाती है। उन्होंने कहा कि सबों की अपनी जीवन पद्धतियां हैं, जीवन के तरीके हैं, लेकिन सभी आकर जैसे नदियां ओशन में मिलती हैं वैसे मिलना चाहिए। और उसमें उन्होंने जो कहा, जो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात है, केन उपनिषद में कहा गया है, केन का मतलब होता है किससे, केन उपनिषद में बहुत अच्छी बात कही गई है कि यह भी नहीं वह भी नहीं, दिस इज नॉट दैट इज नॉट, यानी कंटेस्टेशन इज द कोर ऑफ ह्यूमन इवोल्यूशन। इफ यू डोंट कंटेस्ट, ह्यूमन इवोल्यूशन गेट्स स्टॉप्ड। जो भी आप कहते हैं कंटेस्टेशन फॉर विथ लॉजिक, कंटेस्टेशन विद एम्पिरिसिज्म, तथ्यों के साथ, लॉजिक के साथ। तर्कहीन समाज और तथ्यहीन समाज विदाउट फैक्ट्स, विदाउट लॉजिक कोई समाज प्रगति नहीं करता है। तो डॉक्टर हेडगेवार ने कहा कि विथ योर लॉजिक व्हेन यू कंटेस्ट, जब शंकराचार्य को सरस्वती जो मंडन मिश्र की पत्नी थी कंटेस्ट किया, तो किसी ने शंकराचार्य को सरस्वती को पनिश नहीं किया। और आर्य समाज के नेता स्वामी दयानंद सरस्वती बनारस काशी में 18 नवंबर 1869 को जब गए तो 300 पंडितों से मूर्ति पूजा पर डिबेट किया, आइडोलेट्री पर डिबेट किया। He opposed the idolatry and 300 pandits supporting, 50,000 audience. The king was presiding. Nobody has thrown a stone on Dayanand Saraswati, nor Dayanand Saraswati abused them as a fascist. ये जो सरोकार जो with concern when we debate for a natural, for a constructive purpose, then we are successful. ये तीसरा कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन डॉक्टर हेडगेवार का था कि इस देश में जो डाइवर्सिटीज है उसको हम एब्जॉर्ब करें। और भी और ही संस्कृति, उसी से उन्होंने कहा ही संस्कृति कहता है कि मैं ही, दिस इज द ओनली वे, दिस इज द ओनली बुक, दिस इज द ओनली प्रॉफिट, दिस इज द ओनली फिलॉसफी। डॉक्टर हेडगेवार ने कहा नहीं, इंडिया में भगवान राम भी ही नहीं, कृष्ण भी ही नहीं है, रामायण गीता और उपनिषद वेदा भी ही नहीं है, ही नहीं भी, तुम भी मैं भी। तो पूरी लड़ाई किसी धर्म से नहीं है, किसी संप्रदाय से नहीं, दो वैश्विक सिद्धांत से। एक वैश्विक सिद्धांत वर्ल्ड व्यू है, क्या है कि ही का, एक भारत का व्यू है भी का। तो हम भी क्या व्यू मानने वाले नालंदा विश्वविद्यालय में 10,000 प्रोफेसर थे, 8,000 शिक्षक, 2,000 प्रोफेसर थे। बख्तियार खिलजी आए तो रिकॉर्डेड हिस्ट्री है। 1934 में साकलिया ने एक किताब लिखी यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ नालंदा, बाकी बहुत काम नहीं हो पाया। 10,000 लोगों को मार दिया गया। जब मारा गया तो कोई एक व्यक्ति नहीं बचा जो बताए पुस्तकों में क्या है। खिलजी ने पूछा इन पुस्तकों में क्या है, फिर उसने पूरे 10 लाख पुस्तकों की लाइब्रेरी को जला दी। तो भी और ही में सिर्फ भी संस्कृति को नालंदा विश्वविद्यालय नहीं बचा सकता है, उसके लिए ताकत भी चाहिए। तो ताकत का तर्क, द लॉजिक ऑफ पावर, विदाउट फिलॉसफी ऑफ पावर यू कैन नॉट सर्वाइव, एंड विदाउट, और तर्क की ताकत, विदाउट पावर ऑफ लॉजिक यू कैन नॉट सर्वाइव। तो वी रिक्वायर बोथ, ताकत का तर्क और तर्क का ताकत, फिलॉसफी ऑफ लॉजिक एंड पावर ऑफ लॉजिक, फिलॉसफी ऑफ पावर एंड पावर ऑफ लॉजिक। ये जब दोनों होता है तो हम सक्सेसफुल होते हैं। इसी को डॉक्टर हेडगेवार ने एक हिंदू राष्ट्र के रूप में कहा, हिंदू राष्ट्र इज एन एडजेक्टिव नॉट एन ऑब्जेक्टिव। When it becomes objective, it becomes a theocratic. When it remains adjective, it is a characteristic of the civilizational trajectory of India, which denotes three things. Diversities are essential for the human evolution because it reflects the nature. Nature is full of diversity. So human society, human thinking, human ideology, human behavior should be full of diversity, number one. Second, but diversities lead to the some kind of oneness. दूसरा उन्होंने कहा, तीसरा उन्होंने इसका कहा, कंटेस्टेशन इज एसेंशियल फॉर ह्यूमन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ह्यूमन आइडियोलॉजी। तो कंटेस्टेशन, विदाउट कंटेस्टेशन व्हिच रिमेन्स इन द एज आइडियोलॉजी, दैट इज डिस्ट्रक्टिव और डिटरेंटल। इसीलिए जब पारसी भारत आए तो सांजम के पोर्ट पर गुजरात में आए तो पारसियों ने मैसेज भेजा किंग को कि हम आपके यहाँ रहना चाहते हैं, हम अत्याचार से पीड़ित होकर आए। तो किंग ने उन्हें एक गिलास दूध भेज दिया, कहा हमारा जगह फुल है, हमारे लोग एक भाषा बोलते हैं, एक तरीके से रहते हैं, आप आएंगे फिर क्या होगा। तो चूंकि भाषा का अंतर था, उन्होंने एक गिलास दूध भेजा। तो उन्होंने क्या किया, पारसियों ने दूध में चीनी मिलाकर भेज दिया। तो उसका मैसेज ये था, हम दूध में चीनी की तरह मिल जाएंगे। और यही हुआ, माइनॉरिटी बाय विल, माइनॉरिटी बाय कंपल्सन। आप जानबूझ के माइनॉरिटी बनते हैं या कंपल्सन से माइनॉरिटी बनते हैं। तो पारसियों ने कहा नहीं, हम माइनॉरिटी नहीं है। वो 1931 की जनगणना में सिर्फ 1,09,000 थे, और 1885 में जो कांग्रेस का अधिवेशन हुआ, कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ, उसमें 72 डेलीगेट्स में नंबर ऑफ पार्सीज वर 9, हिंदूज 59, क्रिश्चियन 2, मुस्लिम्स 2। बाद में ही हुआ। इसलिए मैं कहा कि हिंदू राष्ट्र के कंसेप्ट को कॉम्युनल या किसी थियोक्रेटिक देखने की जगह सिविलाइजेशनल जर्नी में आप देखेंगे तो यू विल फाइंड कि डॉक्टर हेडगेवार had a novel concept. That's why he said India, we have not to make India as Hindu Rashtra. India is a Hindu Rashtra by virtue of diversities and by virtue of the idea of contestation, by virtue of adopting and digesting the people. That's why thank you। और मैं आपसे आशा करता हूं कि आप लोग अच्छा काम करेंगे और समाज को एक होलिस्टिक रूप में ले आगे बढ़ाने में अधिक से अधिक लोगों का सहयोग लेकर। और आई कंसीडर माई सेल्फ ए वेरी सोफिस्टिकेटेड बिगर whoever comes to me every day, they ask सिन्हा साहब मैं क्या करूं, तो मैं किसी गरीब क्षेत्र के लिए, किसी भाग के लिए, जैसे मैंने मेघालय में गांव गोद लिया, कभी उसके लिए, कभी बिहार में गांव लिया उसके लिए, कभी कोरोना के लिए मांगता हूं, तो हमें समाज के हर व्यक्ति को ऐसा सोफिस्टिकेटेड बेगर्स होना चाहिए। और हम हमारे जैसे भी मालवीय जी ने जो एक उदाहरण दिया एक भिखारी बनकर समाज में BHU बनाने का, उस रास्ते पर यदि हम हमारे चलेंगे और समाज को भारतीय भाषाओं को उन्नति करके भारतीय भाषा के प्रतिभाओं को सामने लाकर यदि हम आगे बढ़ेंगे, तो संभवतः हम भारत को आगे ले जाएंगे और यूरोप जो विश्व बना हुआ उसको एक प्रोविंस बना देंगे और हम विश्व बन जाएंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नमस्कार।
बहुत सुंदर करतल ध्वनि से हमें राकेश जी के इस उद्बोधन का स्वागत करना चाहिए। फ्रॉम अ वेरी फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल्स पर्सपेक्टिव, Rakesh sir has enunciated as to what is the sum and substance of national integration, the essence of Indic civilizational heritage. Sir, आपके 10 मिनट और लेते हुए, because all people are extremely busy in their own spaces, आपकी गरिमामय उपस्थिति में we would like to run through their venerable citations and then we will initiate their acceptance speeches, and whosoever is pressed for their time, who can stay back, वो फिर हम लोग उस पैनल डिस्कशन को आगे ले जाएंगे। आपकी गरिमा में उपस्थिति में we would just like to honor and present these the healing honors 2020 for facilitating integrative and preventive healthcare। ये एक एक दिग्गज हैं जिनके अगर परिचय को अगर हम पढ़ना शुरू करें तो शायद एक एक दिन लग जाएगा। सबसे पहले we would like to acknowledge and respect the contribution of Professor Dr. Ramesh Bijlani sir, who receives this small token of tribute in the name of Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar sir, by entailing the modern definition of the ancient continuum of Ayurvigyan professed and practiced by Indian savants for ages, and inspiring an entire generation of Amazonians to pursue a medicinal practice in sync with the paradigm established by you. I would request Professor Bijlani sir to just, sir is here, I will just spotlight him. Yeah, sir is here. Yeah, so we honor you from this August forum. We would just come to your exhortation. Sir is the doyen of the whole space of integrative and preventive medicine. तो इस ज्ञान यज्ञ के होता के रूप में आपका आशीर्वचन we would be taking. There are a lot of luminaries associated over there. We will just quickly acknowledge one and all so that whosoever are pressed for time and they have really very important meetings from a COVID perspective, so they can be acknowledged in everyone's presence. That is the whole objective. And those who can stay back, we would really with folded hands request them to stay back so that their exhortations we can record on this very important day. We now want to also acknowledge Professor Dr. Baliram Bhargav sir, because being the DG of ICMR, he has special, he has repurposed the entire frontiers of applied research at ICMR and transformed it as a frontline organization in the national defense against COVID, making ICMR a household name. So we all pay our humble tributes to Professor Baliram Bhargav sir, with the Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar Healing Honor 2021. Our next recipient, we have the gracious presence of Professor Dr. Anup Mishra. Sir has really transformed the entire advanced research, treatment, continuing education and advocacy and prevention of diabetes. And he says it as managing diabetes with delight. And his phenomenal research in recording the breakthrough infections, something which we can really take proud of, that these kind of researches are being done from Indian institutions, from smaller use cases, from smaller samples. With his humility, he has been really driving a phenomenal change. We will be really requesting Professor Anup Sharma to stay on for giving his acceptance speech. We will take it all at once because we want to recognize one and all so that we don't miss out who really came to the forum. We would really like to acknowledge Professor Dr. Y.K. Gupta, who receives this Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar Healing Honor 2021 by his sustained academic advocacy for the evolution of integrative medicinal practice ecosystem, whereby a dialogue between different systems of medicine happens continually for an effective system of health and well-being. So कुछ भी त्याज्य नहीं है, कुछ भी out of bounds nahi hai. Dr. Gupta, in that characteristic Indic paradigm, says, let the dialogue continue. A rishi in his own might. We really pay our humble tributes to Professor Dr. Y.K. Gupta, who is a doyen in himself. So please stay on and give your exhortation just at the end of it. We also want to acknowledge Professor Dr. Abha Majumdar, ma'am, whose life he has been a fascinating medical practitioner whose incredible extraordinary competence has made the furtherance of innumerable families possible through the unique convergence of her lifelong lessons in patience, hard work, and perseverance, as amply visible in her clinical practice. So, our humble tribute to Professor from this instrument of from this platform of Healing Forum 2021. We really bring about another rishi. He's a non-medico, but someone who really facilitated medical education like anything. Be the founding vice chancellor of Guru Gobind Indraprasth University, Professor K.K. Agrawal was instrumental in setting up the Vardhaman Medical College in Delhi by really innovating upon attaching the Safdarjung Safdarjung Hospital to create a medical college out of it. Because in a medical line, like the other engineering lines, you just need a hospital as a laboratory over there. And this has somehow become one of the most preeminent policies at Niti Aayog to further expand the frontiers of India's healthcare education in a great manner. So a visionary, a person who really took charge of one of the prominent universities of the country and really furthered medical education, creating more medicos. Like Rakesh Sinha sir said that in 1916, we just had 75 doctors. Until a few years back, we just used to churn out only 45,000 medical professionals. So this is a great, great, great contribution where he really integrated, I would say, a mainstream university to medical education, how it can be expanded upon. I would request Professor K.K. Agrawal sir, because he has just signed off from a global NAC meeting. मैं पंक्ति भेद कर रहा हूं, पर दो शब्द प्रोफेसर के अग्रवाल, because he would not be able to stay back. So sir, बस दो शब्द, बाकी हम आपको सुनेंगे sir.
Thank you so much, Raghav ji, for organizing this beautiful function. I'm so happy to be in the company of Professor Rakesh Sinha, who was just speaking. And I think the key word for me from the life of Dr. Hedgewar is integrated approach to everything. I think this single word on which this entire function is based is very important. And Professor Sinha is also from education. I mean, I really get surprised when I find people fighting over formal education or non-formal education, basic science or applied science, engineering or non-engineering, whether it's knowledge or skills. I always say, if you just replace or by and, I think many of our problems will be solved. And it's a further surprise when the disciples of Professor Dr. Hedgewar are contesting over these definitions rather than contributing to the total cause of societal development. And look at the person who, being a very well-versed medical doctor doing MBBS 105 years ago, made sure that his knowledge is used for the service of the society and created an organization which is unparalleled in the world. And it's all because he did appreciate and understand that service can be done in any compartment, service can be done by any method. And I was listening to Professor Sinha, time is short, I'll just re-emphasize what he said in one sentence by quoting Vivekanand ji. Somebody asked him a question. He said, please remember, there are three views to a problem: your view, my view, and the correct view. And our problem is we are always concentrated on your view or my view and never try to reach the correct view.
Thanks a lot,
and if
sir.
we follow Dr. Hedgewar's integrated approach and we find out the correct view, I think if not 100%, more than 90% of the problems will find their solution themselves, because I know the time is very short. So So I'll not go on further, and maybe some other opportunity we'll talk
Thank
again.
you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Thanks
Professor
a lot
Sinha
for being with us.
and Raghav and Surbi once again to find out this
Thank
a
you.
very nice congregation of people who have served the society, and I'm humbled that you have included me also in that galaxy. Thank you very much.
In this vast galaxy of luminaries who are really working and slogging so very hard to create an integrative and a preventive healthcare ecosystem, and which we have taken from our perspective in a very, very generic first principles approach. We have Dr. Arati Verma, who leads the quality initiatives, who has really spent an entire lifetime to the cause of quality, from the perspectives of accreditations, protocols, clinical indicators, patient safety, programs, you name it and you have it. It is because of doyens like them, their lifelong pursuits to quality, that our healthcare system would really become integrative, because medical excellence integrated with service excellence is something which her brand Max Healthcare probably takes it forward, and so many other brands also. But just we wanted to really recognize Dr. Rati Verma. Ma'am, we will, if you can stay back, we will have your exhortation at the very end. Professor K.K. Agrawal was in a global meet already. He just signed off and came back. So many pankti bhed kiya, uske liye क्षमा प्रार्थी हूँ. I move on next. We would like to really acknowledge Professor Akshay Anand, who is really a single, I would say, a fountainhead of integrative medicinal case reports. Because in the modern empirical world, until or unless you churn out research papers, documentations, because civilizationally we have been a vocal tradition. हमारे यहाँ बोलने और सुनने की परंपरा है, लिखने और पढ़ना हमारे यहाँ फिर भी secondary हो जाता है. Thanks to the clubhouses and the newer apps which are coming, the entire Shruti tradition is again getting so very unequivocal, and doctors, they have the whole field of medical transcription because they are so very busy. So Professor Akshay Anand has been singularly at the PGI Chandigarh. He is being accorded with this honor for being the editor-in-chief of Integrative Medicine Case Reports and Annals of Neurosciences, pushing the academic envelope of integrative and preventive healthcare. We would listen to Professor Akshay Anand just when we start the panel, but we really want to acknowledge in all your presence his great contribution, for which this healing honor is being bestowed upon Professor Akshay Anand. We also would like, because हमारे यहाँ मंत्र विज्ञान, आहार विहार विचार औषधि, और उसके बाद भी the very subtle aspect, शब्द प्रमाण भारत में एक बहुत ही मुख्य स्थिति रही है. And Acharya Veda Ravi Shankar, he is being honored with this Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar Healing Honor 2021 for facilitating integrative and preventive healthcare by making tremendous headway in the domain of mantra, tantra, yantra, and prayoga healing. His institution down south is using all the instrumentations, all the modern instrumentations to really come up with empirical evidences, because this is somewhat a very basic requirement of modern science. So a lot of efforts, his Gurudev, under the tutelage of, under the companionship of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, they worked very, very well. They felt like investing more in these so-called, under quotes, occult sciences, the tantric sciences of India, which is still has a lot of following, which is still, the experience says it all. So we would be hearing Acharya Veda Shankar also once we open up for a more leisurely panel discussion. I would just rush through. We pay our obeisances to him to come to this forum and really accept this honor. Professor Dr. Anil Arora, doyen of gastroenterology at Sir Gangaram Hospital, and we want to felicitate him for his sustained adherence and advocacy of the clinical philosophy to approach disease from first principles, something which I would be reading out from Dr. Mankul, one of the young proteges, that it is not just the disease per se, but a complete cure of it all from first principles. And that is what Imzonians have always stood by, and I am so fortunate that one of the products of this illustrious institution is by my side. So he has been furthering cohesive treatment of all systems of the body, not just one system, and undertaking with the purview of an interrelational logic, whereby lifestyle correction remains at a core. And this very, very facet of his practice is so very important for an integrative and preventive healthcare ecosystem. We really would like to bow down and really felicitate Dr. Anil Arora on this solemn occasion for his great contribution. We would like to also bestow upon this Healing Honor 2021 on the School of Medicine, Science and Technology, IIT Kharagpur. It is one of the IITs which really was a pioneer in establishing one of its kind, uniquely placed schools, furthering the mission of integrating doctors, scientists and engineers to work collaboratively on various projects to sever mankind to the best of their potentials. As we all know that today doctors cannot just function without the machines. The whole pathological ecosystem is all attuned with the powers of the machine, which really give a sneak peek into what is happening in the most complex machine, which is the human body. So Professor Jyotirmoy Chatterjee, he was to be here with us, but for some reasons he could not. So we really present this token honor in absentia to SMST IIT Kharagpur for their great role. We have with us Vaidya P. Ram Manoharji, I had introduced earlier as well. He is leading one of the most advanced scientific pursuits in Ayurveda research down south in Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, which is also a multidisciplinary university and under the benediction of Mata Amritanandamayi, who is really, because in that old paradigm of Indian sages and rishis where education and healthcare used to be the twin sectors, twin platforms of public investment. So Vaidya P. Ram Manoharji, he loves to call himself as Vaidya. That is the kind of an exhortation he wants to have it. So we really acknowledge him on this forum, from this forum, for his 3 decades of research and advocacy in positioning Ayurveda as a wholesome medicinal system. So he has got some real quite intellectual literature with him, and really he has got the whole parampara of Ayurveda Charyas from Kerala under the Aryavaidya pharmacy, as I mentioned, the legendary P. Krishna Kumarji, whom we lost very recently, the whole Lord Dhanvantari in that beautiful campus where our former presidents used to go for doing their Panchakarma treatments. I would just request Ram Manoharji, because he has logged out from one of the, if he can stay on, if he just as an acceptance, a mantra from Ayurveda, and if he can stay back then for a larger exhortation. So Ram Manoharji, if you just want to make your presence, because coming from, just a mantra of acceptance,
Yes. Namaste. I'm so honored and humbled to have been chosen to be amongst this galaxy of eminent personalities, who have contributed to the development of integrative and preventive healthcare approaches. And it's all the more inspiring to receive this honor in the name of Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar, who represented rationalism, humanism, and the spirit of integration for the balanced development of humanity. It is also a matter of great pride to represent Ayurveda on this platform of integrative health. Truly, I mean, when we talk about integration, it's all about people. If medicine has to become people-centered to address unmet needs, then it has to be integrative, because human life is complex and one system cannot address all these needs. So I'm not taking much time, as I know this is a very busy platform. I once again thank you wholeheartedly.
Please stay on for a longer exhortation. We will be having quite a lot of, because we at ReTHINK India are trying the Ayush principle, AAYUSH, allopathy plus Ayush. So AAYUSH is something which really needs to be propounded and taken forward. So we really invite you to stay on, sir. And thanks a lot for joining in from extremely busy schedule. You just logged out from another meeting. So really a privilege of this forum. We move on. Dr. Anurag Agrawal, who has stayed on for us. He has to join a WHO meeting again. We are extremely busy people. We want to honor from this forum of Healing Forum 2021, Dr. Anurag Agrawal, by expanding the vistas of experimental and computational approaches for understanding biological and clinical aspects of various diseases. He happens to be one of those Swadesh stories who went out to the world, being a very prominent Amazonian, and he is now heading one of the preeminent research institutions of the country. It is because of diehards like them who have a passion and who devote their whole life that the Indian system would really have a leverage in times to come. I would request Dr. Agrawal, because he has to join in. He is sitting in his car and joining over here to just give his acceptance speech in few words, sir.
Thank you so much, Raghav. Thank you so much, Surabhi. It's a pleasure to join such a distinguished group of people. And I fully agree with everybody that integrating various streams of working is very important going forward. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot, sir. We would have loved to have you, but we will interact with you on another occasion. Don't want to hold you back because it's a mission critical scenario and we are really pressed. We are really fighting it out. We have with us another from Acharya Veda Shankarji. We have Acharya Kalki Krishnaji, whom we really want to honor from this August platform. He has unleashed the majestic splendor of Vedic values and Vedic sciences, especially the ones pertaining to Vedic Jyotish, Vedic Sthapatya, Vedic Vastu Shastra, Vedic Yagna, Vedic Yoga, Vedic Mantra Vigyan, Vedic Varna Chikitsa, the color therapy, Vedic Yantras, Vedic Ratnas, Ayurveda, Prakritik Chikitsa, Vedic Ahar Vigyan, palmistry, numerology, and all other allied sciences. So these are all, it was a whole compact which we used to have because of lack of whatever research, whatever things. So we really want to honor Acharya Kalki Krishnanji, and we will be requesting him to stay back for his elaborate exhortation going forward. Yeah, we are just coming over there. We also want to acknowledge from this August platform in all your esteemed presence, the National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur. One of the important things which we noted in their whole, I would say, repository of work, research work, which they are undertaking, that they have under a foundational work of standardization of terminologies of Ayurveda. Now, this is quite a bigger task because for all the protocolization, for all the integration aspects, we really need to start with the terminologies, the concepts and the precepts. So for this, National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur receives this token appreciation, and this entire narrative of integrative and preventive healthcare probably will take a leap forward because of their foundational work. We move on. We have a very eminent corporate doyen. Generally, in the corporate parlance, it's said that, oh, it's just the cause. But because without the frontiers of corporations who are really dedicated to the cause of producing medicines for the larger public welfare, and we have the eminent Professor Dr. Yogendra Gupta with us, who better than him can really know and talk about the importance and relevance of that. So we want to bestow upon Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar Healing Honor 2020. As well as drug outreach and patient access during the COVID-19 pandemic into the domain of public as well as private healthcare delivery systems, and being a sustained, passionate believer in the same pursuit. When we approach them for just a very token sponsorship, so that we are enabled and empowered to really present to all our awardees to have this smaller memoir. Naresh sir was very forthcoming. I would request him to just give his acceptance speech. Again, a Pankti Bhet, but because he is our sponsor in his association, this entire effort is happening. And I would also request Dr. Y.K. Gupta also to shower some blessings and about their corporate philosophy, because in today's time, when yesterday the whole Swadeshi Jagran Manch said about a patent-free kind of a vaccination, because it's a global pandemic. So Viatris, for that matter, has a lot of CSR mandate. They have a humane heart. And let's hear all from Naresh Asija ji.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to congratulate and thank ReTHINK India for inviting us and giving us this opportunity. So I think the vision what we have is a very, very clear vision, providing affordable access, whether it is of all essential medicines is our goal. So I can easily remember the last 1 year where like all my people, around 15,000 people we have across here, so who have worked day and night to make sure these essential medicines are reaching everywhere on time. So crisis was a little different this time, and India needed it more. So I think that kind of dedication our employees have put in, kind of planning which has gone in making it happen on time was marvelous. So through this platform, I would like to thank all of you for in one or other capacity. I think all of you have contributed a lot to this pandemic. So let's save life is one mission which I think all of us have. Let's make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And as the whole mandate of integration is all about integration in anything and everything which is required, without the big pharma, without the pharmacological companies, the entire healthcare system would probably collapse. So I would like to bring in Dr. Yogendra Gupta at this juncture to really speak a few words about the role of pharmacology, the role of pharma, and the how this integration in the pharma sector with the healthcare space would be really conducive for an integrative and preventive healthcare system, sir.
Thank you very much, Raghavji, for giving me this opportunity to speak to this elite gathering. And also my thanks and lots of love to both of you, Raghav and Surabhi, for initiating this type of activity in the country, which is much, much needed. And I'm honored to get the award, which is named after Keshav, Baliram, Hedgewar, Dr. Ji, who not only devoted his entire life for the nation, but also, as you rightly mentioned in the beginning, that for integration, not only of the country's different fora, but also believe that if you are asked to understand something, understand it and believe it when there is a reasoning, when there is a research, and what you rightly said, Nirikshan, Parikshan. Now, what is important in Indian context is that we have so much rich heritage in terms of our Ayurveda, Yoga, Siddha, and different system of medicine. And we have also very rich modern medicine. Our expertise are there in each system of medicine. What is important today is that we forget the differences and we just stop the putting in front of us or in front of others the weaknesses of other system. This is the time when we should act as a catalyst for each system. We understand each system, we respect each system, and do shake hand approach. That is, first you understand, you respect, and then you integrate and practice it. There are certain strengths. I strongly believe that modern system of medicine, or you say allopathy, has a tremendous strength in it. It has a molecular biology, it has a surgical expertise, it has a wonderful symptomatic relief, it treats so many rare diseases, replacement therapy. It cannot be denied upon. It has a tremendous support of scientists, it has a tremendous support of government funding. But also important is to realize that our Ayurvedic system of medicine, the holistic approach which it produces, the rich, the botanicals which we have, and the example of drugs which we can produce from the herbals or from the botanicals, the combination of which, or the permutation combination of the drugs which can produce the individual medicine, which we are talking on today on the genomics and proteomic based. This was existing there. The important thing is that we must realize these things, not that once Western world teaches us that you have this strength, then you understand that. No, that time is that we must understand our strength. We must understand our weaknesses also. Why introspection should be done, that why Ayurvedic system, homeopathic system did not get the position or the respect which it deserved, not in India, I am talking of internationally. The weakness perhaps is that we need to strengthen our record system. Perhaps we did not create the epidemiological data that how many patients, how many people got benefited. The examples that I treated such and such person of rare disease and he got cured in so many days. The important thing is today you document it and then say that my medicine, my combination or my concoction or my the formulation has treated successfully 82% of drugs 22% of drugs was not effective, or things like that, so that you produce the epidemiological data, you produce the modern scientific contemporary evidences wherever possible. I am not in favor of that you go and produce the scientific evidence which is a molecular label, not always. I do not believe also that for each proving of each therapeutic benefit, you go to the molecular label, no need. But what is important thing is you have to identify whether this is effective and how does it demonstrate that. So important thing is a shake hand approach, understand each other's system, respect each other's system, do standardization of the process. One of the reasons why people say that this drug produced given in Uttar Pradesh and the same formulation given in winter, same formulation given in other part of the country do not match. So standardization is a need of the day. When you say integration in practice, integration in education, can we think of integration in MBBS or BAMS or BHMS? Tell them some basic degree. I'm not saying that you create an expert in allopathic, expert in Ayurvedic, and one person cannot be expert of this, but to appreciate other science, it is possible and it is doable to tell him the basic understanding of that, so that when he becomes expert of any particular subject, he doesn't criticize other. That is something which is very important. And I have started one thing which Raghav mentioned about the medicine safety. So I started program in India, which is called as a medicine safety pharmacovigilance program when I was at All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Pharmacovigilance program or reporting, recording of adverse drug reaction and medicine safety from patient to doctor to pharmaceutical industry. We started 10 years back at AIIMS. Now it is a 400 centers in the country, and I am National Scientific Director for that. Now, this is not only important for allopathic drug. We also started the same pharmacovigilance for Ayurvedic drugs, so that you understand that these drugs are safe and what are the precautions for taking that. And similarly, when you do new drugs, we say that one person is getting anti-cancer drug. And now a lot of projects we have sanctioned and we promote through DST, DBT, wherever I am, that can the Ayurvedic drugs reduce the side effect of anti-cancer drugs, which is a major problem? Can the Ayurvedic or allopathic or homeopathic drug increase the efficacy of anti-cancer, anti-epileptic, anti-hypertensive, anti-diabetic drug?
In his own space, and I think
so.
This is the area.
Finally, I would say this is an excellent platform of integration, an excellent platform to respect each other, and I pay my respect to Dr. Hedgewar, and I'm humbled to have this honor. Thank you very much.
Because there are a lot of youngsters, a lot of your proteges who are really doing the work in the direction which you have shown, which Dr. Bijlani has shown, which Professor Anum Mishra has shown. So that's why we have हमारी मनुहार रहेगी कि आप लोग अगर रुके और उनके कार्य को
I will be back in 15 minutes.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. We look forward. So we move on for our next recipient. It is Grandmaster Neelam Rai ma'am. For furthering the holistic healing compact through Reiki. So energy sciences, India did not stop at material. Sir said that at the molecular level, that is the material level, but what about the consciousness studies? And we have Dr. Sunny Sandhu who will be talking a whole lot about it. So we want to acknowledge Grandmaster Neelam Rai ma'am. She was in deep meditation, but she said she came, but we probably missed her, but in her absentia, we want to pay our respects for her sustained continuation of the whole discipline of Reiki. Probably the empirical, the scientific, the materialistic proofs would probably follow later over centuries or decades perhaps. But yes, it works, it heals. The experiences show all about it. Probably not the evidences in the modern scientific parlance, the modern scientific paradigm per se. We move on to respect yet another, because we wanted to have a very eclectic compact. So we want to really acknowledge one of the Indian Administrative Service officers who was promoted from a joint secretary level to an additional secretary level for his astonishing aggregation of public health delivery systems as displayed during the COVID-19 pandemic. And he drew a lot of immense experience from stewarding the national missions on hepatitis C and others. We would like to honor Shri Vikas Sheel sir. He currently occupies the position of additional secretary at the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. He was literally pressed for time because the vaccination drive is going on. He said he will just sneak peek, but in his absentia, we really pay our tributes and honor him under the name of Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar, because aggregating such a vast public health ecosystem, people have been questioning, अरे हमारे यहाँ इतनी वैक्सीन नहीं हुई, अरे भैया population भी तो इतनी ज़्यादा है, and we really have a job which administrators like them, they are truly the custodians of it all, helping us. We would also like to recognize one another former bureaucrat, because tourism is another area. I will come to it कि आहार विहार विचार की शुद्धि ले जाओ भैया, एक नेचुरल हीलिंग हो जाएगी, इकोलॉजिकल हीलिंग हो जाएगी. तो सर विनोद जोशी, while being at the helm of affairs, he really opened up tourism, opened up the vistas of tourism to facilitate intrinsic healing by a slew of strategic initiatives and advocacy, and because of which a lot of tourism operators are seeing, apart from the medical tourism part, reinventing, re-engineering their resorts into healthcare rejuvenation centers. So this is also a very important aspect of integrative and preventive healing. In this whole lineage, we would also like to recognize one very special resort at the heights of 2000 meters in Mukteshwar in the Uttarakhand, the DYO resorts, who have integrated the entire experience from they just have 5 rooms, but they have a huge farm, organic farm all through. So they are trying to build this kind of a culture that आहार विहार को शुद्ध रखोगे, विचार को शुद्ध रखोगे तो आहार ही औषधि बन जाएगी. You don't have to gulp popping pills to a great extent. So we want to acknowledge DYO Resorts, Mukteshwar, for with this healing honor. They create a platform, they create a case study for other hoteliers, other people in the fast moving world today. Probably Corona has decelerated the pace a bit more. In this whole pantheon, one of the very important person is a hospital administrator. And more than that, today in the modern parlance, we all go to the big buildings, big corporates, and our health is really compromised over there. So Dr. Bajrang Patel, he's being honored for championing the cause of occupational health as a mission. He has taken it up across the healthcare chain branch, and he has taken it as a personal, and he has been delivering healthy workspaces by bolstering the productivity of organizations. So he provides very competent doctors and do preventive checkups. Preventive is his core. So we want to acknowledge Dr. Bajrang Patel, again, a very, very busy man trying to push forth the health revolution of the country. So this is one of the most toughest platforms because a doctor is a lifesaver. So they just stealing time over there. We would also like in this whole continuum, Dr. Sahar Qureshi, who happens to be the medical administrator at Max Super Specialty Hospital, Saket, which by many standards, it happens to be one of the finest healthcare ecosystems. We want to honor her by superintending day in and day out. Quite a thankless job. 1007 things you do good, but if one thing goes awry, the medical superintendent's throat has to be captured upon. So by superintending day in and day out, one of the finest healthcare ecosystems which goes to the extra mile, juxtaposing medical excellence with service excellence, leading to patient delight. And this hard to accomplish integration helps to absorb the drudgery of disease and prevents the psychological dipping of both the patients as well as the companions. So quite a healing ecosystem. For that, we want to acknowledge her. Our star, Dr. Pankaj Verma, who is quite a feisty young doctor, and and personally, I would like to say there is a confession, like in the US, they say there has to be a declaration. Dr. Pankaj Verma brought me personally out of insulin, and his natural healing. He put me on an autophagy regime. And वो कहते हैं हाथ कंगन को आरसी किया और पढ़े लिखे को फारसी किया. तो डॉक्टर पंकज, इस प्लेटफॉर्म से आपको बहुत बहुत नमस्कार. एक अमूल्य एक निधि देने के लिए, and returning me back to my organic self. And Dr. Pankaj Verma, we want to honor for his differentiated, integrative, and preventive medical practice, whereby he has harmonized the tenets of Ayush with allopathy in an extremely scientific fashion. He has answers to every question, and it is not this he और भी की बात जो प्रोफेसर सिन्हा ने कही. तो हमारे डॉक्टर वर्मा जो हैं वो ही और भी, मैं भी हूँ, उस आत्मविश्वास के साथ बात रखते हैं. हम इनकी बात सुनेंगे, पर मैं एक पूरा हॉनर रोल कॉल पूरा कर देना चाहता हूँ, जिससे कि we don't miss out on anyone in everyone's presence. In this whole lineage, we also have the lovely Dr. Mankul Goyal, and again a confession, he was the one who brought me to Dr. Pankaj Verma. I had a sore in my toes. So apart from his big series and things like that, I experienced what he has stated, that for his stated commitment towards curing the disease and not just symptomatic treatment, the recognition of the very fact that every individual's problems are unique and time should not be a barrier in serving the patients with ultimate compassion. The incorporation of the quad of diet, lifestyle, modifications, and nutritional supplements and medications. We have not highlighted that, but medications is on the outward trajectory. It makes Dr. Mankul Goyal certainly an integrative and preventive healer. So again, a lot of thanks to Dr. Mankul, both personally and from the platform per se, because I have lived, I have observed each and every aspect of what this citation in his honor proclaims. So we would like to honor Dr. Mankul on this platform for this. None but not the least, the maverick Amazonian, as we all say, of the 1999 batch before the Y2K bug came into being, the feisty Dr. Sunny Sindhu. And he's, nobody can understand that he's a doctor per se, but what he talks, when he talks sense, it removes all the nonsense which is reverberating all across. So we want to honor Dr. Sunny Sandhu by his wide-based first principles pursuits towards the integration of the entire continuum of healthcare, with the environment as the foundational facet and music as the soothing relaxant, connecting back the self to the larger environment, attaining arogyata. So Dr. Anup Mishra, sir is signing out.
Yes, sir, signing out.
Sir, please, if you can.
Just a few minutes more, sir. We would be greatly,
so we felt like before.
Greatly honored to hear your exhortation, sir.
Just request sir if he can log in for more. He really waited patiently for a lot of time. As Professor Y.K. Gupta talked about the documentation part of it, which is one of the very important aspect, and government is coming with a policy of EHR and all. So we want to acknowledge and recognize Bamni with this healing honor by providing an integrated EMR and hospital system, especially curated for low resource settings. It's an open source software, and we have Mr. Sandeep Thote, who's the India integrator of Bamni, and Professor Moni and Mr. Thote would be having a lively conversation probably when we move forward. So they have encapsulated complexity of medical ecosystems very beautifully and in a very low resource system, and they are aiding the delivery of care and most importantly documentation. So we move on with the next recipient. Thote sir, please stay on and we would like to hear you. We have with us Dr. Moni Madhaswamy from Shobit University. He was the former Director General at the world's largest IT company, we say, to NIC, National Informatics Center. It happens to be the largest network and centers. So he is steering through a lot of programs and projects in futuristic technology, aiding various sectors from agriculture to healthcare. So we want to felicitate Shobit University by taking up the onerous task of devising academic and training programs to prepare adequate human resources in the domain of technology-enabled healthcare, especially artificial intelligence and healthcare informatics, to boost up the healthcare delivery system in India's hinterland. We have a very special recipient. It is an organization called Shatayu, which provides an integral care to one of the spaces where we still have taboos in the Indian parlance, the mental diseases. This organization is dedicated to Alzheimer's, and they provide dedicated support ecosystem to improve the quality of life of those facing Alzheimer's disease and other dementia, which includes not just patient care, but awareness and advocacy amidst the larger set of stakeholders. So here we conclude the entire honor roll call, and we so I would like to just request Professor Dr. Anu Mishra sir to just grace this occasion, his acceptance speech from the collective whole. I'm sorry I had to break the queue for a couple of dignitaries because they had really, I did not realize if Professor Anu Mishra is there, I really request him to just come over and address. Yeah. Okay, so maybe sir would be joining in. I would now request. We missed on Puneet Gulati. Puneet. Okay, I think in the whole rush, we missed out Dr. Puneet Gulati. I have his citation with me. Just a moment. I think I have double checked somehow. Let me. Yes, I think I missed reading out the honorable call for Dr. Puneet Gulati, again an Amazonian par excellence, and he has emerged to be one of the pivots of advanced neurosurgery, and he has championed the super specialized dimension of minimally invasive and complex spine surgery. Kitna bhi hum preventive kar lein, but obviously there will be a time when a charak would be required to do a surgery. There would be some fatal accident where we really require these kind of advanced skills. And Dr. Puneet Gulati is really leading that community, leading that expertise across the Indian healthcare ecosystem. So मैं निवेदन करूंगा प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर रमेश बिजलानी को कि वो अपने आशीर्वचन से हम सभी को अनुग्रहित करें, especially the emergent lots who are really so very, and then they will all come and they will give their acceptance speeches. So over to Professor Dr. Ramesh Bijlani, sir. We are all eager to hear you, sir, from. So you have to unmute yourself, yeah.
Professor Rakesh Sinha, I'm not sure whether he is still there, but certainly I was not told that I'll be asked to speak after he has spoken, because I think after that what I speak will not have much value. But anyway, now that I do have to speak something, I would like to start with thanking ReTHINK India for this honor. They're giving me this award named after none other than Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar, who left for his heavenly abode exactly 81 years ago at the relatively young age of 51. Dr. Hedgewar was a lover of India and the Indian culture. And to give an expression to his passion, he established something of lasting value. An organization, if it has lasted nearly 100 years and is sure to make it to 100, can be said to be something of lasting value. Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and not so well known Rashtriya Sevika Samiti. Two sister organizations, one for men, the other for women. And by creating these organizations, he prepared a platform for like-minded people to come together for the cultural and spiritual regeneration of India in a spirit of service. That's what essentially the spirit of service is the core. That is what Swayamsevak and the Sevika imply. But then why was he and why should all of us be interested in the Indian culture? Is it just something of patriotic value or is there something more to it? Iqbal had said in one of his well-known couplets that while many other organizations, many other civilizations, like the Egyptian and the Roman have disappeared, India continues to be there. And then he said, कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी, सदियों रहा है दुश्मन दौरे ज़मा हमारा. कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी. तो क्या बात है कि हमारी हस्ती नहीं मिटती? The key to this or the answer to this is that it is the Indian culture that holds the key to living a meaningful life, which is based on the deepest truths of existence. A life which is full of love, peace, joy, and fulfillment. These are things that everybody wants, but most of us spend our whole life searching for these things but can't find them. Not because the wisdom is not available, but because we do not care to look at this wisdom or find it difficult to bring it into our lives. However, this is the wisdom that the world needs. This is the wisdom that India needs. And this is something that was seen by many enlightened souls that this country had the fortune of having in the 19th and 20th century. Whether it was Swami Vivekananda and Sri Aurobindo, or Bankim Chandra Chatterjee and Bal Gangadhar Tilak, or whether it was Dr. Hedgewar. All of them worked in their own way, towards bringing Indian culture to the notice of the world, because both the world as well as, of course, India is included in the world, needed it, and for somewhat different reasons. The world needed this wisdom embodied in the Indian culture so that it could find where lies the answer or the solution to the disillusionment which it was suffering from, and to some extent continues to suffer from the uneasy combination of being materially supersaturated but spiritually starved. Now, this uneasy combination has put the West on a search, and at the right time, they found this wisdom by, as a milestone, one might say, by Swami Vivekananda's visit to the Parliament of Religions in Chicago in the year 1893. And then many other great souls of India, such as Sri Aurobindo, Dr. Hedgewar, they all, in their own way, gave an expression to the authentic Indian wisdom in contemporary terms, which the West has been very eager to absorb. And the efforts of all these great souls have not been in vain. It has affected India, it has affected the world, although there is a long way to go. And as a concrete example of the increased receptivity of the ancient Indian wisdom in the world, we have the International Day of Yoga, which also we are celebrating, apart from observing the Punyatithi of Dr. Hedgewar. And I can see that the day is not far when we will also have an International Day of Ayurveda and an International Day of Sanskrit. While I mean these tributes to yoga, Ayurveda, Sanskrit, etc., would be highly visible, are highly visible, and would continue to be highly visible, there is also a not so visible emergence of India as the source of that wisdom that the world is looking for in the form of spiritual tourism. And there has been a book which a Western person has written on why people come to India. What is it that they are looking at the Indian wisdom for when they make a visit to India from the spiritual point of view? And it's basically two reasons, which is not difficult to understand. One is that they want to understand life, understand its depths without being restrained by any fixed dogmas and beliefs. It is in the Indian wisdom that they find the freedom to explore and experiment, develop their own insights, and arrive at the deeper truths of existence which can guide their life towards a greater meaning and purpose. The second reason for which they come is to heal their psychological wounds. They have a society which in a way, in many ways, sick. Societies where more than half the marriages end in divorce, and the children have to bear the brunt of it, and then they grow up with all types of psychological issues, and that is what brings them, those wounds sometimes bring them to India looking for solutions to these psychological issues. The world, of course, needs it, but why does India need this wisdom? India needs this wisdom to wake up from the slumber to which it went at least about 1,000 years ago. And as Professor Rakesh Sinha mentioned, it was because of this slumber, because of this degeneration that we could be enslaved. And again, these great men like Swami Vivekananda, Sri Aurobindo, and Bal Gangadhar Tilak, they all tried to wake India up from this slumber and activate it, make it realize its true soul. The soul of India is beautiful, but then because of this degeneration, as India said, as Sri Aurobindo said, India has a beautiful soul within a rather degenerated and ugly body. And that is what India needs this wisdom for, so that it can justify its place as the Vishwaguru. The Vishwaguru it has become because the ancient Indian wisdom, as I said, is being lapped up by the whole world. But then we have to, the Indians of today also have to prove themselves worthy of this heritage which carries this wisdom which the whole world is looking for.
Thanks a lot.
I would like to thank once again ReTHINK India, and I may point out that India became free on the 15th of August 1947. That was the 75th birthday of Sri Aurobindo. And then I thought back and I realized that 21st June 2015, the day on which the World Yoga Day was celebrated for the first time, was the 75th Punya Tithi of Dr. Hedgewar. So two 75ths. The 75th birthday of Sri Aurobindo was the Independence Day, and the 75th Punya Tithi of Dr. Hedgewar was the first World Yoga Day. Now, these are more than mere coincidences, and they are amenable to deeper interpretation. And I'll not go into what that deeper interpretation would be, but I would just end with wishing organizations like ReTHINK India
really blessed
all the best
in
this mission of carrying on the legacy of patriots like Dr. Hedgewar.
And in fact, we feel that many of the luminaries who are present, they have those seeds of those giants, because जो soul है, जो seed है, वो अनवरत आता रहता है. So we have a host of people who have that same potential. Without losing any further time, I would request Dr. Anup Mishra to please address the forum. So we are really
we are
honored to have you.
To have your gracious presence, sir. And good.
Thank you. मैं पहले तो आपका धन्यवाद सुरभि का आपका धन्यवाद करता हूँ, और हमारे बड़े कोलीग्स, और मैंने सामने देखा कि स्टूडेंट्स भी हैं यहाँ पर, और but still I'm honored by this invitation. I'll take not much of a time. मैं डॉक्टर हेडगेवार के बारे में पढ़ रहा था, तो दो चीजें मेरे सामने आई जो कि मुझको पता नहीं थी। एक तो 13 साल की उम्र में प्लेग हुआ था, तब उनके दोनों पेरेंट्स की मृत्यु। देखिए वो टाइम और ये टाइम सिमिलर है, और वो दिखाता है उनका एक तरह से एक साहस आगे बढ़ने का। और इसी तरह से हमारे यहाँ बहुत से लोग इस समय उनकी डेथ हो गई है, और कई पेरेंट्स की डेथ हो गई है, हम बच्चे अनाथ हो गए हैं, उनको भी हमको साहस दिलाना चाहिए। तो एक तो ये लेसन डायरेक्टली उनकी लाइफ से लिया, और दूसरा कि वो खुद डॉक्टर थे। ये बात भी अब मेरे समझिए कि मैंने नहीं शायद उतना ध्यान दिया, पढ़ा नहीं, भी मेरे सामने आई, लेकिन डॉक्टर होकर उन्होंने पूरी विचारधारा अपनी बदल दी और एक नया मूवमेंट शुरू किया। ये एक बात अलग है। बहुत कुछ ही डॉक्टर ऐसे हुए हैं जो उनके डॉक्टर होकर और दूसरी विचारधारा पर पूरा ओरिजिनल, ये देखिए गांधी जी ओरिजिनल थे और ये भी बिल्कुल ओरिजिनल थे, क्योंकि ये नई चीज जो उन्होंने शुरू करी वो बिल्कुल ओरिजिनल थी। उस समय जबकि अंग्रेजों का रूल था और गांधी जी का स्टेचर इतना ज्यादा था, और जो मूवमेंट वो शुरू कर रहे थे उन मूवमेंट से थोड़ा सा अलग भी रहे कहीं है। तो वो एक बात हमको समझनी चाहिए, हमारे मित्रों को और हमारे डॉक्टर मित्रों को समझनी चाहिए कि डॉक्टरी ही सब कुछ नहीं है। हमको दूसरा एक विचारधारा भी डेवलप करनी चाहिए, जैसे कि गरीब लोगों का सहायता करना। एक वो विचारधारा हम सब में होनी चाहिए। और मेरा अपना ये बहुत पुराना विश्वास है, और इस पर हमने बहुत बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट दिया हुआ है, जो कि वर्ल्ड डायबिटीज फाउंडेशन के सहायता से हुआ है। और उसमें हमने 2 कस्टमाइज्ड डायबिटीज की वैन हमारे 10 साल से प्रोजेक्ट कर रही हैं अंडर प्रिविलेज एरियाज दिल्ली के। उसमें हमने करीब करीब 4 लाख लोगों को या तो ट्रीटमेंट दिया है या स्क्रीनिंग करी है या उनको समझाया है। तो इस तरह के 2 विचारधारा हम लोग लेकर चले कि एक डॉक्टरी भी करें और एक और कुछ करें जो कि जन बाकी लोगों को, हमारे पॉपुलेशन को कुछ बेनिफिट करे। तो मेरे ख्याल से हम कुछ डॉक्टर हेडगेवार के चरणों में चल सकते हैं, उनके पद चिन्हों पर हम चल सकते हैं। So once again, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure joining this August forum, and I'm sure you will continue this activity in future.
Thanks a lot, sir, for blessing it, and for the sake of further clarification, all these honors, various categories of lifetime achievement, doyens and the emergence. So डॉक्टर हेडगेवार की ही परंपरा में कि जो डॉयंस हैं, लाइफ टाइम अचीवमेंट के बाद जो डॉयंस है और डॉयंस के बाद जो इमर्जिंग, एक परंपरा बरकरार रहे, जो परंपरा डॉक्टर
करके कल चेंज कर देंगे, ठीक रहे तो कल निकाल
सेट की
सर, चेंज करना चाहिए थोड़ा दीजिए सर,
और उसको जो बाकी लोग आगे
बढ़ाना पड़ेगा।
विदाउट एनी फर्दर एडो
ये करवा दीजिए सर, अगर सही है तो निकाल देना है तो चेंज
to give his
कब तक चलेगा सर
the Healing Forum 2021. I would invite Dr. Anil Arora.
Thank you, Surbhi. Thank you, Raghav, for giving me this opportunity. First of all, this is my first interaction of so-called integrated medicine. If you look at the speciality which I practice, that is gastroenterology and liver disease, 70% of the illnesses are related to the stress. And as you had rightly mentioned few minutes back, you know, the soul is the seed from where it spills onto the mind, and mind is what decides what your body has. In fact, we are at the fag end of the problem. That is, we're just dealing with the body, but we do not get back to the root cause of mind, which is ultimately controlled by the soul. Since most of us do not have a control on the soul, the only thing which is modifiable is the mind. And in fact, medicines alone are not enough. I think we should use this platform for springboarding to a new concept of treating the illnesses with explanation of the lifestyle changes, both in, say, irritable bowel syndrome, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and a host of other diseases in the GI tract. In fact, not only in the GI tract, as a practitioner of medicine for almost 30 years, if you see most of the OPDs, ask any busy practitioner, 60 to 70% of the illnesses which are reported to the clinicians, whether it is low backache, whether it is atypical chest pain or irritable bowel syndrome, stems more from the difficult thoughts and very different thoughts which reflect in somatic fashion. And if it reflects on the back, they go to the orthopedician. If it reflects onto the tummy, they come to me. And if it reflects onto, you know, anorexia, weight loss, other metabolic problems, they go to Dr. Anup Mishra. But rather than individually trying to tackle the isolated, fragmented components of the somatic forms, I think this is the platform for us to utilize. And who else will do it? See, India is the front runner for the integrated medicine platform. We have excellent Ayurveda, we have excellent homeopathic medicines, and we are the masters in teaching the art of yoga to the world. But where do we practice in our own setup? I think initiative like ReTHINK India from you and Surbhi has done a yeoman's job. My only suggestion is we should not put an end to this in this forum. It should just be the beginning, not the end. And we can take it forward. That will be the biggest contribution of us as doctors to the humanity in general. Thank you so much for honoring me with this prestigious award. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, sir. We are really honored and blessed, and it is just the end of a grand beginning. And as you rightly said, Dr. Surbhi has been quite a votary and champion, and she named an institute herself as Arogyam Institute of Integrated Medical Sciences, which acronyms to her beloved institution AIMS. So that's her love and regard, and she has been the force behind creating this forum and carrying it forward. We have been joined by Professor Sanjeev Sharma from the National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur. He's one of the very important, he's live from Himachal. He was driving yesterday And we said, sir, you have to join in and grace this forum. I would not be holding back. I would be giving the platform to Dr. Bajrang Patel, because being a medical administrator is really tough. He has to really handle a lot of complexities out there. I would request Dr. Bajrang Patel to just come in and give his brief exhortation, give his brief acceptance speech on this forum. And he has really revolutionized the entire occupational health scenario. So Dr. Bajrang Patel, if you can, just come over there. Okay, maybe Dr. Bajrang Patel is coming in. I would like to invite Dr. Pankaj Verma. He's quite a prolific speaker, and he really champions and he really mesmerizes the whole audience out there. And his conviction, what he carries with him, it really convinces his patients. So Dr. Pankaj Verma, inviting you to give this your acceptance speech and your exhortation on this August platform. Dr. Pankaj Verma.
Is he there?
I think he's there.
Not responding.
I think he's there. Okay, so till Dr. Pankaj comes in, I would request Mankul. I can see his face. I would just, Dr. Mankul, requesting you to just come in and, yeah.
Thank you, Raghavji and Dr. Surbhi, for this opportunity, and thank you for honoring us and encouraging us. Yeah, I think integration is the need of the hour, and I firmly believe in one thing, that जो बुद्धि है हमारी, वो I guess हम doctors की सबकी एक strength है जिससे हमें काम करना है. But I personally feel that in words of Sri Aurobindo also, the intellect, if we have at the center of our consciousness I or me, then it becomes a tool to defend what we are doing. But if we have it, have the divine or the self at the center of the consciousness, then it becomes a tool to reflect the truth. And that is what we more and more need to do, reflect the truth in our consciousness and manifest it more and more in the medical science, where the need of the hour is being inclusive, taking out, and it will be a unique situation for every doctor in every different situation, from a rural setup to an urban setup, from being a pure allopath to a person who is exploring other mediums. But as long as I think we have divine at the center of the consciousness, we would be all able to contribute and reflect the best possible scenario in that situation, and keep evolving, keep moving forward personally, and will help others. So I think that's the intent with which I like to move forward and practice it more and more as much as possible. And I'm grateful and inspired by so many people out here who are doing such wonderful work, and it would be a great opportunity to learn from all of you and imbibe a lot of things. And ending with Dr. Hedgewar, it was such an inspiration to listen about his life story and what all he has done. And I mean, again, as Dr. Mishra said, that such people truly manifest the Guru Tattva within them, and उस Guru Tattva की हम सब पूजा करें, एक इंसान की ना एक गुरु तत्व की पूजा करें. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we have got Dr. Pankaj. Dr. Pankaj, please.
Like to hear exhortation, Dr. Pankaj. Please address the forum.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ReTHINK India, for inviting me on this August platform and honoring me with this award. I think all these are the people, those who are receiving this award is really great people, and I stand nowhere. But we in Mankul, we started practicing holistic medicine since 2014, and me and Mankul are batch mates. So this concept of holistic medicine is actually needed in India in much more the big level. But we're taking a few initial steps. We are providing holistic care by combining different pathies, including homeopathy, normally people don't combine homeopathy with holistic medicine, but it's amazing science, and I'm having great result in COVID patients also. In last 1 year, we are providing online home care packages to the patient, and we are giving consulting advice of doctors, including allopathy, homeopathy, and Ayurveda, and people recover much faster. Frankly speaking, I think 99% of patients, those who are on home care, were improved, and that doesn't require any kind of admission. So I think that's a great success of holistic approach, especially in the COVID. So people, because they are after COVID, I think people are more inclined to holistic approach. I think that's a good change that I've seen. People now are more accepting Ayurvedic practices. People are accepting more the lifestyle changes because they realize that what is the outcome of being dependent only on one pathy, on the what is the outcome of being dependent only on drugs, not modifying their diet, not understanding the concept of nutrition, because they have suffered a lot. All the patients, especially in the COVID times, like having uncontrolled diabetes, obesity was a very, very important risk factor which increases the severity of COVID much more severe, much more dreadful. So these things that happen in last 2 years is actually promoting more the holistic approach in terms of what we need to know about combination. But the thing is, still they are in a very nurture level. To do scientifically is again the big challenge. But if we have a rational team, if we have good doctors, if we accept limitations, I think we all know the strength of pathy, because everybody knows the Ayurveda has a strength, allopathy has a strength, homeopathy has a strength. But the most important key factor is to know the limitation. We should know what limitations of having any pathy, like yoga is amazing, but has its own limitation. It's not useful in emergency. Homeopathy is amazing in terms of mental health or the allergies and skin disorders. But again, it's not that much effective in emergency. But similarly, so we have to rationalize the treatment part, and it requires really holistic approach. And there's always a scientific dilemma in the patient mind also, whether to take all these things in combination. But believe me, in the last 3 years of holistic medicine practice, we have not seen any kind of side effects, because all the pathies work on different level. We all know this, we have physical body, vital body, energy body. So everybody is working on different levels. So I think they can be easily and scientifically combined with each other, providing adequate education to the patient, and providing enough knowledge, and again confidence also. Yes, they are supported. They are supported to do this change. This shift is possible. Similarly, we are working on energy medicine also. Energy medicine is a huge science and amazing science. And we recently get exposed to Body Talk. Me and Mankul, our energy healer practitioner. And Body Talk, Reiki, chakra healing. So all these things are definitely effective. But because I think we know nothing. Unless we accept it, we know nothing, then only we can exceed further. We can take a step forward. Yes, let's try this. Let's experiment with this kind of pathy under a controlled way, under guidance. Again, because we have seen this COVID pandemic. People are using incomplete knowledge. I think the severity of second wave in India was because mainly of incomplete knowledge and incomplete education and incomplete treatment taken by people without any guidance. So having knowledge is good, but just applying it without any rational, just applying it without any guidance. I'm basically a allopathic practitioner. I'm from AIMS, but I take guidance from my Ayurveda doctors. I take guidance of we have Professor of Homeopathy, Professor of Ayurveda with us, that you have also honored NIA, National Institute of Ayurveda, to the ex-director of National Institute of Ayurveda, Dr. Mahesh Sharma, was the key foundation stone in developing the Department of Holistic Medicine. They also make protocol to in which patient we should enroll Ayurveda, in which patient we should take homeopathy. So really, National Institute of Ayurveda is working in great deal with us also in Jaipur. And so the message is integrative medicine and preventive medicine is desperately needed, because if you are depending only on the medicine, that's not enough. Because as soon as it's a basic principle, if you give power to only one thing, you will become weak. So you have to understand of your power of your own inner being. You have to understand the power of nature, which can, if you are in sync with the nature, then definitely there is a way forward, which is much more healthy, much more happier. So that's the concept of health and happiness. Thank you for inviting me here, and among all these dignities.
डॉक्टर हेडगेवार की इस पुण्यतिथि पर गुरु तत्व का जो उभृंगण हो रहा है आज, डॉक्टर रमेश बिजलानी अपने सभी छात्रों को, नए नवेले छात्रों को, उनकी परंपरा को आगे बढ़ाते हुए जो देख रहे हैं, उनका आह्लाद उनके मुखमंडल पर कितना सुशोभित हो रहा है. We are all so very contented. It's a celebration of the Guru Tattva in all of us, which manifests in various forms or the other. Abhi Dr. Pankaj was talking about NIA Jaipur, and we have with us the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the National Institute of Ayurveda. इससे किसी को डरने की जरूरत नहीं है. The other NIA is a dangerous one, the National Investigative Agency. So ये NIA बढ़ना चाहिए इस देश में, और बहुत बढ़ना चाहिए, leaps and forwards. Before I come to Professor Sanjeev Sharma, about the standardization of the Ayurveda terms, because जब ये पश्चिम में विज्ञान उभरा 1700-1800 में, तब सबसे पहले फाउंडेशनल लिखी गई डिक्शनरीज लिखी गई, ऑक्सफोर्ड एडवांस लर्नर्स डिक्शनरी. फाउंडेशनल वर्क NIA ने किया है, उसको हम कैसे आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं एक इंटीग्रेटेड मेडिसिनल प्रोटोकॉल्स की दृष्टि में. आई थिंक डॉक्टर पंकज हैज रियली लेड आउट, एंड ही एंड डॉक्टर मंकुल, एक सहपाठियों का जो भाव होता है कि एक सुंदर कार्य में, इट वाज अ डेयरिंग स्टेप टू टेक ऑन होलिस्टिक मेडिसिन एज अ प्रैक्टिस, बट दे रियली डिड इट. आपका बहुत बहुत नमन for having dared it, because it's not an easy job. Money is less and challenge is so huge. और घर वाले कहते हैं कि भैया पागल हो गया है क्या, डॉक्टर बन के एम्स से आया है और भागते कर रहा है. बट वो हमारे यहाँ संस्कृत में कहावत है, वैद्यराज नमस्तुभ्यम यमराज सहोदरः यमराज हरन्ति प्राणः त्वं प्राणान् धनानि च. सो दिस इज अ गुड स्टेप. डॉक्टर पंकज एंड डॉक्टर मंकुल, आप दोनों ने, जय और वीरू की जोड़ी जो है, यू हैव रियली टेकन अप this mandate and mantle so very vociferously, and I personally am a recipient of your profound wisdom, and my personal namaskar to all of you, apart from this token tribute. मैं अब इस श्रृंखला में बुलाना चाहूंगा एक और emerging holistic healer. इसमें holistic और integration is on a different count. We have with us Dr. Puneet Gulati. Dr. Puneet Gulati, just a moment, I will just. So he has become, he has emerged out to be a pivot of advanced neurosurgery. So without any further ado, Dr. Gulati, your exhortation on this healing forum, over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Surbhi and Raghav, for this honor. I'm not really sure, seeing all the luminaries here, whether I deserve this, but then thanks again. Actually speaking, my experience with holistic medicine per se or integrative medicine as defined is practically zero. The only part of this maybe integrated or holistic medicine I incorporate in my practice is yoga. Actually, we were exposed to yoga right from first prof itself, thanks to Bijlani sir. This was a big part, physiology, learning physiology from sir. So what I have seen in my patients, particularly those, many of my patients are those after severe head injuries, strokes. This includes intracranial bleeds and infarcts. So this involves a long rehab process. Once they survive the initial insult, whether after surgery or conservatively managed, the rehab process is very long, sometimes a year or two, for many people even more. And in that process, the patient's personal motivation and the kind of support he receives during this rehab phase is very important. And there I have seen really, like I recommend yoga to almost all of these patients, practically all of them. And well, frankly speaking, some of them do, some of them don't. And so I don't have any as such study on it, or I haven't conducted a trial, or I don't have specific data for it. Anecdotally, I can say that those who are doing yoga regularly, those who actually get into it, because there's another component also. Most of these patients, see, if a young guy or even an old person who after stroke is maybe hemiplegic, or after a spinal injury is paraplegic, it's even mentally a very traumatic event for the patient, and most of these patients are depressed. So even after putting them on antidepressants, the results per se are not good. And there, yoga helps a lot. Getting these patients motivated actually, because unless they put in effort in physiotherapy and their rehab therapy, nothing's going to happen. Just medicines alone do not help here. Just medicines alone without good rehab and without good physiotherapy do not help these patients. And here, I can say with conviction that yoga helps a lot. I don't have experience here with Ayurveda or homeopath, but if anybody has in these patients, I would love to pick your brain and see how these patients can be helped by by Ayurveda or homeopath. This would definitely add to my practice and my ability to help these patients. Thanks again. Thank you so much.
To add to Dr. Puneet, what you said, that the very determination or the willpower of the patient to heal, that is what is presenting as yoga or pranic healing, or the psycho-neuro-linguistic programming, or the Reiki. Yeah. So this is where integrative, and your very stellar attribute of how you decide on the surgery. I had a very intense discussion with Dr. Puneet regarding the clamping and coiling aspect of neurosurgery, and so the medical ethics and integrative aspect of patient welfare, and how you incorporate that and go out of the way and keep the patient's well-being at the corner, at the foundation of it all, is what is, I think, we said.
And as Dr. Puneet is integrated to the patient welfare, what was so beautifully enumerated in the mission statement of Dr. Mankul, it is not just a symptomatic treatment. Patient welfare के लिए committed होना, integrating yourself, that is also integral medicine. जो एक वैद्य का कार्य है. And the very beautiful aspect is that you have not rejected it on the face of it all. Acceptance is also the unfurling of that whole manifestation, and that is what is the, I would say, is the submission of this forum. कि at least हम लोग accept तो करें. It is always scientific to at least go deeper into it, not just reject something or accept something on the face of it all. As Dr. Keshav gave our very important aspect, that accept only that which stands to your reason. Never accept anything merely because it is preached by some great leader. Test its truth on the touchstone of your intellectual discrimination. So while it is true for acceptance, it is also true for rejection. So like Dr. Pankaj and Dr. Mankul, they are integrated a holistic medicine which they are practicing. If we on the face of it reject, so I think we are not pursuing the scientific process.
Scientific process, right.
I would now like to invite Professor Sanjeev Sharma, who is really very difficult to catch. हमारे भारतीय अधिष्ठान में कहते हैं कि ज्ञान की साधना के लिए न जाने कितने लोगों का भ्रमण करना पड़ता है, और ज्ञानी को प्राप्त करने के लिए तो उससे ज्यादा सेवा, ज्ञानी के बिना नहीं मिल सकती. So, but all thanks to Dr. Surbi, she had been chasing the NIA sleuths. They are really doing a terrific job, as vindicated by none other than Dr. Pankaj Verma in his practice itself. So, Professor Sanjeev Sharma, we honored NIA Jaipur specifically for its phenomenal contribution for standardizing. That is a very fundamental, foundational job. लगता बड़ा निरी है, निरी सा है, PDF है. But if you really go deeper into that 200 plus pager PDF, you can see that how beautifully the entire universe of Ayurveda has been presented, because it is the dictionary. आज के ज़माने में जो personalized learning की बात हो रही है, concept based, precept based learning की बात हो रही है, तो Ayurveda के जो प्यारे प्यारे precept है, I think this is the first level where the Ayush, A plus Ayush, And there is a very hearty community of Amazonians for Ayurveda, very hyperactive one, and probably National Institute of Ayurveda can really give the edges to that group, of which many of these Amazonians are a very passionate part of it. So over to Professor Sanjeev Sharma, because we are lacking time and you all have busy schedules. So Professor Sanjeev Sharma, आपके आशीर्वचनों के लिए हम प्रतीक्षारत हैं.
Thank you, Dr. Raghav ji and Surbhi ji. I am very sorry that during these 2-3 days I was running so busy, and still I am running busy because I was elsewhere, and it was very difficult for me to join this very prestigious event. But anyway, I could join, and again I have to leave and go. So thank you very much, first of all, for calling me and my institute at this in this mega event of ReTHINK India. And today is really a very pious day. I can say it is a pious day today, that today we are celebrating the birth of Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar ji, our Pujaniya Guru ji. And at the same time, we are also celebrating International Yoga Day. And as we know that the yoga and International Yoga Day has put India as a pivotal and central role, and has I can say that has raised our respect throughout the world due to only this single knowledge, Indian heritage knowledge, that now we feel elevated and honored in the globe. Really, this was wonderful event time today and day today. So first of all, my thanks and my thanks on behalf of Institute also, that you are honoring our institute by this prestigious award. Really, I am feeling lucky enough. And as you are talking about that National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur, this is the premier Ayurveda Institute of Government of India. And now this institute has also attained the status of deemed to be university recently. And that is the big gain for this institute. And this institute is always working for the betterment of the society through Ayurveda and promotion of the Ayurveda throughout the not in nation, but not only the nation, but throughout the world even. And we are working in the field of education, patient care, and research activities. And now we have also entered in the integrated medical courses also. And what you are talking about, those terminologies, yes, really that was a wonderful work. And now that work is at the portal. That portal is popularly known as Namaste portal, and the National Ayush Morbidity and Standardized Terminology Electronic Portal of Ministry of Ayush. And this is really prestigious, and so many diseases they have been codified. And now it is very easy to communicate throughout the world, that how we can communicate a particular disease to anyone, and anyone can understand. And in our hospitals also, we are using all those codings for our routine practice in the hospital. And we are on the online platform. All these terminologies are being used. So really, this was a wonderful task which the NIA has contributed, and no doubt there was the support of, and this was basically the project of Ministry of Ayush, but NIA contributed a lot. And other things about the institute, because you are also running a short of time, but brief highlights about the institute I shall like to highlight here. And those highlights are: number one, that during the COVID period, institute has done a wonderful job. We are having COVID care center, and for mild and moderate symptoms, we are treating the patients purely with Ayurveda protocol, Ayurveda and plus yoga protocol. That is the wonderful thing which we are doing. And throughout the Jaipur and 5 more districts of Rajasthan, we have distributed this immune booster kits and Ayush 64 tablets, which is again project of Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. And we have distributed those Ayush 64 tablets to COVID positive patients, mild and moderate patient who was isolated or quarantined in their homes. We delivered the drug to their at their doorstep, and to your surprise, not even a single death occurred among the patients to whom we gave Ayush 64. That is the although real thing, real data is to become, and that the Ministry of Ayush will be publishing that data. But this is the something I can say. This is something very, very good thing that not even a single death has been reported. And the patient to whom we gave Ayush 64 tablets, none of them got admitted in the hospital or went into the severe stage. That is the big achievement. And we have also done the trial with the Ayush 64 and at All India Institute of, in collaboration with All India Institute of Medical Science in Jodhpur, and we are having very good collaborative activities with them. And now we are also starting integrative and integrative courses, medical courses and postgraduate courses. And fortunately, I am also the member of the national team of Niti Aayog here, and the planning for the integrative health is being planned. And I'm in a working group of working group 1. And in the working group 1, the education part has been taken, and how we can make our other systems to understand that what the system, other systems of medicine. For example, if allopathic system is there, and how allopathic doctor can understand what Ayurveda is, or what yoga is, or what other Ayush systems are, and vice versa. Means how Ayush doctors, they can understand their own system. Suppose I am from Ayurveda, then I should also know about homeopathy. I should also know about yoga. I should also know about naturopathy. So some part of curriculum or some part of syllabus should be there in the courses of all the medical systems in India, so that they should have a mutual respect for each other. Otherwise, what is happening that sometimes we, without knowing the other science, we are criticizing others. Ayurvedic doctors, sometimes we see criticize other systems of medicine, and other systems of medicine, they criticize Ayurveda, because we are not knowing each other. We are not familiar with each other. Here I'm not saying that we should practice cross-pathy or mixing of the pathies, but we should have a mutual respect for each other, and we should understand that what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are. And as right now, earlier one of the earlier speaker was saying, and he was saying very nicely, that every science has got its strengths, and every science has got its limitations and weaknesses also. So we should try to understand those strengths and weaknesses, and at the same time, we should have a mutual respect for each other also. And whenever there is a need, so then I can refer that patient to a suitable specialty or suitable specialist or suitable stream of medical science, so that actually all we are working for the welfare of the patient. It is not our own welfare, it is the welfare of the patient, welfare of the society. This is the service toward the humanity and our patient, because our profession, medical profession, revolves around the patient. Our patient is a fulcrum basically, and we are the different strings, and we should work unitedly like a wheel of the cycle, so that the cycle should rotate appropriately. And we are not the different things. We should respect and join with each other for the sake of the humanity. So I am again thankful to this forum, and Puneet ji and Raghav ji and Surbhi ji. And I am again very sorry that really it was very difficult for you people to chase me. But anyway, I could connect with you people, and this is my good luck, my fortune, and I am really honored. If my institute is honored, I am really, really honored. And again, very, very sorry that I was difficult to do. Thank you very much. So nice of you.
दृष्टि संजय को और वेदव्यास को प्राप्त थी, पर आज तकनीक की जो दिव्य दृष्टि है, उसके माध्यम से हम सभी कहीं भी हों, जल में बसे कुमोदनी और चंदा बसे आकाश, जो जाही का भावता सो ताही के पास. So we can all be together by being in different parts of the globe, so very close to each other. And as Professor Sharma said, that this is a commemoration of the yoga of the various clinical traditions. कि कैसे हम सभी की जो SWOT analysis किया जाता है management parlance में, कि how can we integrate, how can we have the yoga. Yoga is a more fundamental and a foundational term than even integration, कि कैसे उसका योग किया जाए. और इसी क्रम में तकनीक एक बहुत ही बड़ा माध्यम है, because if we really have to re-establish our indigenous clinical traditions, let's have more first principles terminologies to be coined out there. So how can technology help us out there? And we had the good fortune to felicitate one of the open source EMR, EHR and a clinical ecosystem which Bamni. Bamni comes from a very beautiful Indian city, and we have Mr. Thote, Mr. Sandeep Thote, to receive this token appreciation. We had so we request him to just present his exhortation. What a luminary audience! What a galaxy! If we can adopt upon, because technology helps us in documenting what Professor Bijlani was also talking about, that we have to really become the new Vyasa. And platforms like Bamni are probably the one who really help each one of us from our busy academic schedules to really become the modern Vyasas, where the Saraswati is flowing and not hampering the concentration. The doctors can just go on. And this is very low resource system. Over to Sandeep Thoteji.
Thank you so much, and good evening, everyone. I really obliged and appreciate ReTHINK India and Dr. Sirbiji Raghav. Thank you. आपने इतना given this platform to showcase. I know open source को बहुत लोग accept नहीं करते हैं, and then since it is not a commercial, it gets very difficult to showcase the strength of it. It is the word of mouth, and a platform like this can help to reach the masses here. And abhi to, like, since the technology is something and data is become the crux of everything, and with the COVID pandemic, everyone knows that unless we are all connected all together, serving the needy has become very, very challenging, right? So, and if you look at the patient or anything when visits to a doctor, whatever the history and things, that becomes a data point for someone to build the something on that, which can prevent maybe 2 years later, maybe their community, maybe the person has genetic things which has developed. Abhi, in the current circumstances, and I say that almost 90% doctors, like they take a patient as a one transaction. They treat that patient for that moment, and that's it. उसका data, whatever has been collected, has been जो paper में रहता है वो paper में रहता है actually. No matter how many scan that you the paper and keep it for the all your medical legal part, but उस data का अगर it's not been used for the causes of preventing the thing, it would just remain as in a paper or just a digital file in the hard disk, right? So that's where the Bamni has been such a nicely thing is done. Like it is completely free. Like आप उसको open the operating system run करने के लिए वो भी free है, database you take, everything is free, the all platform is free, right? Even though if you have the capability to have little more technical people in your group, you can just download. There is a community who can answer your questions and help it and do it, right? And it is uses very great platforms, with for the clinical as well as non-clinical aspect of it. So, कोई भी hospital हो, clinic हो, any other like a rehabilitation center ho, wherever you are capturing the health specific data, this platform becomes very well. And as it gets widely connected and spread, right, we can get to community level. Like a Bamni in countries like a Bangladesh, Nepal, they have started rolling at the national level. Many of the African countries has taken Bamni and they try to integrate the DHI system, wherein all the community disease data automatically gets passed to the municipal health department. And so किसी को not like now, if you see the last wave, we see so much data is missed out completely. Like अभी आ रहा है इतना death rate हो गया, but we are not able to even get the data because there's all disconnected system. And I understand when everyone is loaded, every system is loaded, right? And that's where we had to take efforts of human out and put it machines to do it, because they will not get tired doing things, and the human fatigue will kind of create human errors, right? So machines will not create the errors.
Thank
right?
you, Sandeep ji. You took out time, and it's such a lovely platform. We at Arogyam Institute of Integrated Medical Sciences tried to implement an instance of it, but then all of a sudden COVID just struck up.
I know.
Platform, and it's fast, it is free and open source, and a lot of customization you can do. And Honorable Prime Minister from his Red Fort speech, when he said that India would move on to an EHR revolution, probably these open source tools probably would be the core of it all. Technology ke yoga ke isi kram mein we would like to invite the doyen of technology in the public space, in the public I would say, informatics system, a person who devoted 4 long and lively decades at the helm of, as we call it, as the world's largest IT corporation, the National Informatics Center, none other than Professor Madhaswamy Moni, and his incessant striving for work took him after his superannuation to Shobit University. And there he, after having given informatics to the whole country from that high vantage point, he is now dedicating himself to create the next stage human resources who are oriented into healthcare, because the futuristic healthcare systems would need the right aptitude, the human resources to really own up the implementation of BAMNI for that matter. So over to Professor Madhaswamy Moni, and we are felicitating Shobit University for his singular contribution, because Shobit University, under his leadership, he has set up a whole range of centers of excellence in informatics, and he is taking the narrative just like crazy. I would like to use the word under quotes. Such is his spirit that it is so intoxicating that it makes even a dead crawl and run. And that is how he instigates passion, and that's how he has built up. He was the architect of the district project in the 1980s. And had we not gone into the liberalization era and depending on the foreign corporations, again, a debate which has come all of a sudden, do we have national enterprises or should we just give it away, all our sovereign rights to foreign corporations just in the name of FDI? I think Dr. Moni really laid out that blueprint, that each and every asset of a district, which even the biggest of the district collectors, they would say, hame pata nahi hai ji, hum to niche patwari jo bolta hai, bas usi pe baat chala dete hain. So even after these decades and decades of, I would say, governance and filtering away of the public money, there is no clear view as to what are natural assets or different assets we have in the country. So over to Dr. Madhaswamy Mani for his exhortation on the Healing Forum.
Thank you, the couples, Dr. Surabhi Mittal and the engineer Raghav Mittal, for bringing in contact with a person like Sandeep Tote and Professor Sanjeev Sharma, Honorable Vice Chancellor of National Institute of Ayurveda. No, it's very important that your forum is uniting people from different discipline on a particular theme. And health is an important component. I work in informatics discipline for more than 40 years, from village level onwards to the national level, and worked heavily on agriculture informatics, which converted as a discipline. The health informatics is an area where the country has to take a lead. And India is a country which recognizes, which has got a which is the custodian of many of the alternative system of medicine, and it is Ayurvedic systems, Siddha systems, the Unani systems, homeopathy, and so on and so forth. And I have looked into this aspect. That's why that development of health informatics network value chain is more important. And everyone can play its own role. And the person who receives the medicine for his health point of view, for his disease monitoring, is an individual. So one is that he has to be a healthy person. So one has to look into that, human health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, and fish health. So this has to be integrated. Then the system of medicines has to be integrated. That's how, we thought that, the health informatics network value chain is more important. And the COVID situation has, given us an opportunity to learn what we have, unlearn what we have learned so far. And, this is the health informatics network value chain. Now we have National Digital Health Mission, but they are not in a position to talk to each other. They say that human health, health informatics exchange, information exchange, but we have to bring in all aspects together. I am very happy today. I was watching from 3 o'clock onwards that the protocol exchange between Ayurveda systems and allopathy systems and Siddha systems is all essential. If you go below district level, you see only the country doctors. In my district, I come from Kanyakumari district, you can see that every house will have a country doctor. A person specialized is either in Ayurveda system or Siddha system. And why can't we take pride of it? The thing is that where do you want to have an empirical knowledge? Empirical. The whole centuries together, the country has worked on Ayurveda systems and Siddha systems, and we are answerable for our systems. Why should we be answerable to somebody else? And so, of course, this can, people may like it, may not like it. But the thing is that in the era of digital technology, in order to promote open innovation, in order to create value creation networks, and the health informatics network value chain is an important thing, which I have, systematically and promote it to bring in this, all the system of medicines and also health systems to bring in, let it be human health or plant health or animal health or water health and so on and so forth. Because according to the published information, 85% of the disease which we get come from animal. And why can't we have an animal disease quarantine rather than spend too much money on health system, the human health? So the thing is that that's why somebody said it, that Professor Boni, what you are doing for the last 10 years, is a health informatics network value chain is $1 trillion economy, which India should, get into this, rather than any other country. So the thing is that is an important thing which we should do that. Thank you very much for recognizing the Soviet University, which is the only private university which is working on agricultural informatics as a discipline and health informatics as a discipline, to bring in, because today's system generates a lot of data. There is nobody to analyze the data. We have big data analytics, we have artificial intelligence, and between the laboratory technicians and the doctors, there is nobody to analyze the data. This is where I thought that person like me should step in and to promote, to generate health informatics professionals. So we are picking up biological students, especially we wanted to take biology student, the girl students with the biology knowledge, to train them in digital technology, health informatics, BSc health informatics, and MSc health informatics, and generate rural public health delivery systems very effective. And so India should take lead in the $1 trillion economy of health informatics. Thank you very much. The Soviet University in a very important day of Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar's healing honor for integration. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Such an inspirational figure for all of us, that even after his 4 decades of public service, he's still like a youngster with that energy and verve. He's trying to bring yoga of multiple disciplines by way of his lifelong pursuit. Sir, it's truly an honor on to you as well in person, but it goes to the institution, because it is the individuals who create the institutions, and then the institutions further forge the spirited youngsters. As Professor Bijlani is so very proud that the foundation seed he laid, that it is being germinated with so many of his proteges who are taking his mission and mandate further. And we have also seen that beautiful yoga of a Bamni and a Shobhit University, a beautiful yoga of a Dr. Pankaj Verma and a NIA, and all these yogas, these small yogas, because a top-down colonial system of governance probably would not work. And this year, it's more of a black swan event that the CBSE had also to cancel its 12th board examination, and we were having another forum. And the agency has got returned back to the schools per se. So until or unless following a colonial top-down paradigm, ki some competent authority under courts would be the billions of Indians, like we can innovate and integrate our various experiences and come up with systems and solutions in the rightful spirit of the Yoga Day, in the rightful spirit of the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. Because Dr. Hedgewar, what he said is कि भाई कोई नहीं करता तो एकला चलो रे, अपना स्वयं सेवा करना शुरू कर दो. There are so many examples which keep on coming in. So till we receive a mandate from some bigger commission, I think Dr. Moni is a very, very fine example that he just gave that phenomenal intellectual leadership to a private university, and thanks to the university itself, which really gave Dr. Moni the platform, the freedom to innovate and openness. And that's how the yoga of a
Mr. Mittal, I also would like to inform that we are looking into that how to bring technology to the rural students, rural people. So agriculture is more important. As an informatics professional, I concentrate on agriculture informatics for 25 years. Now that has become as an academic discipline. And also the same manner that we are also looking into SMEs, Industry 4.0 for SMEs. Now, we have got more than 85 lakhs of SMEs in the country. It has to be globalized. And the same manner, health systems, it has to be globalized. Until unless we globalize it, somebody will talk about you prove it. That we have to globalize it. This is where the bringing in health informatics professionals, bring for all the discipline through digital technology. So I have a deadline of, that's why I'm very happy to, see that Sandeep Tote, we would like to have a separate discussions that is a harmony systems, how we can introduce as a case study in the health informatics discipline. That I have a deadline of how why can't we bring in about 1 lakh health informatics professionals in the country to look into that every aspect of health data, that data point, and bring in $1 trillion economy to the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Please stay on. And now moving from the Yantra Vigyan, क्योंकि कलयुग में कहते हैं कि यंत्र ने प्रभावशीलता ले ली है. Yantra has a different connotation in the word of Jyotish, astrology as we call it. We have with us Acharya Kalki Krishnan ji with us, whom this forum had the great fortune and privilege to felicitate with the Healing Honor 2021 in the name of Dr. Keshav Baliram Hedgewar. Medical astrology is a very profound discipline. पहले राजवैद्य एक एस्ट्रोलॉजी में भी निष्णात होते थे और नाड़ी के परीक्षण के साथ साथ वो कुंडली के परीक्षण के साथ बता दिया करते थे the forecasting method, what we use billions of dollars of computers and empirical evidences. So this is another paradigm which astrology is a very fine science, and eminents like Professor Subhash Kak, they have been writing a lot about astrology from a very, very computer science perspectives. And in fact, the astrologers are the one who use technology, the tools to predict, tools to do the complex mathematical computations phenomenally. So over to Acharya Kalki Krishnan ji to give his exhortation on this healing forum, how to integrate the yoga of healthcare and astrology, Jyotish as we call it. Sir, Acharya ji pranam.
Thank you, Surabhi and Raghav and ReTHINK India for giving me this opportunity, wonderful opportunity. Today is International Yoga Day. The literal meaning of yoga is the union, to add upon. And the efforts you are inculcating upon to add and combine so many things you have for the welfare of humanity in general, it is worth appreciation, and I bow upon before you, you all people. So we, with the brand Astro Devam, working upon astrology, Vastu, Yoga, Ayurveda, I also exposure to the Ayurveda and Yoga to a reasonable extent. So we are combining all these things to how we can achieve the holistic health of a person. And astrology is the very deep science. It is called Vedanga and the eyes of the Veda. Vedas, the source of knowledge cannot see without the astrology. So astrology is such a deep science. It categorizes every human being. When you open horoscope, it categorizes in the elemental way to what element is prime, what element is minor, and everything you can know upon about any person. And medical astrology has reached to such an extent that many doctors known to me, and I have taught so many doctors, senior doctors in the Delhi NCR, even from other countries also. Sometimes from some great big hospitals, when they see that the patient and their family is unable to afford expenses, sometimes they send them to me to see what is the probability of being healthy, what is the probability of success of this surgery. So astrology has reached this thing this medical astrology branch has reached this perfection that you can see the probability of getting success in a surgery or not, and so many things, and there are specific formulas. This is not a Baba type things you can understand, and it can be taught to any person. But the most essential thing today, I can say that how these sciences, which has Indian background and our background in our scriptures, how they perceive the person. Actually, modern science, I don't want to criticize, I'm not going to be critic, but how the ancient Indians ethos see a person. This is elaborated in a very beautiful manner in the Taittiriya Upanishad of Krishna Yajurveda, that the body you see with your naked eye is not the only body. They have used the word Panchakosha, meaning 5 layers of bodies. The body which we create in the modern science is the gross body. It is called Annamaya Kosha. You are born in a very little, in a very little form, but with the consumption of foods and everything, you grow like anything. So this is the body created by the anna or food or what energy in whatever form you consume. But beyond this, there are so many bodies, and they say Panchakosha means 5 layers. The other 4 layers are Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Annamaya Kosha. The Pranamaya Kosha is the energy body. You are working, we all are engaged in this wonderful seminar and our interaction forum. But after Raghav might be feeling, I am feeling exhausted, but he didn't do anything physically. But his energy body has depleted to some extent. That's why he might be feeling exhausted. So how you handle the energy body? The another is that I am get very brief because the subject is so vast, it can go for hours and days. So another is Manomaya body. This is the mental body. How you are feeling depressed, you are feeling elated, you just young man felt that young man feeling heartbroken after denial from his girlfriend. So his Manomaya Kosha might be depleted to a great extent. And then beyond this Manomaya Kosha is Vijnanamaya Kosha. This is the intellect body. How discriminate the things, how memorize the things, how your buddhi works. And the last one is the Anandamaya Kosha. This is the ultimate. We call our Ishwar, our God, Sachidanand, who has the Anand is the basic factor of the Ishwaratva or Godhood. So Anandamaya Kosha ultimate, when you are in bliss. But for being in bliss, for being in Anandamaya Kosha, you have to correct Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha. So when the modern science treats the physical body Annamaya Kosha, how it is going to treat the Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, and Vijnanamaya Kosha, this is very important. And the ancient Ayurveda practitioners used to heal all these koshas and layers and or seeds of the body. Unfortunately, I used to interact with all practitioners of all the types, allopathy, Ayurveda, homeopathy, but somehow I have pain and suffering in my heart that in the current modern Ayurvedic colleges, the Ayurveda is not being taught with such a deep understanding. What was the thought and concept in the ancient times, it is not being passed upon to the contemporary Ayurveda practitioners. I'm not making any assessment, but it is my observation after interacting with current Ayurveda practitioners. And in the allopathic system, there is no method to understand. There is psychiatrists you have to understand the Manomaya Kosha, but they are handling in such some different way, not in a way our ancient scientists or rishis or munis, whatever you call them, you handle. So today on this great platform, I am fortunate to share with some great luminaries of India. I am not worth, and I don't want to compare me with these gentlemen who are really worthful and contributing to the great concept. But I want to inculcate this thought into the mind of all the persons who are listening, that we have to develop this concept in a very holistic, samagrata se, in the very holistic and combined way, so that we reach the ultimate welfare of the person. The person who remain in the blissful way, a blissful condition of mind, or anandamaya kosha. And astrology has so many tools. In the same way, I had to share my pain that in the modern astrology, people have very less time. Everyone wants to make money, so they are not going to deep. They want to just make shallow predictions. What will happen? This is not the ancient rishis, and especially the Lagad rishi, who created this Vedanga called astrology or Jyotisha. He didn't have that thought. But I'm making this request with my folded hands, that everyone should come on a common platform, so that we can reach and we create a paradigm and model, and which the backing of ancient science with the contemporary thoughts and contemporary thoughts and the experimentation. Thank you all. Thank you all. Again, I'm making request to come on the platform.
सूक्ष्मता से इतनी सारगर्भित बात कही, और इसी बात को थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ाते हुए, क्योंकि आनंदमय कोश की जो बात हुई, और संगीत से बड़ा आनंद क्या हो सकता है, और हमारे साथ संगीत के एक बड़े ही प्रेमी डॉक्टर, एक प्रेमी चिकित्सक हमारे साथ हैं. मैं न्योता देना चाहूंगा डॉक्टर सनी संधू को, who is mad about music and he is working phenomenally well on the music therapy. और अंततः मैं आचार्य वेदा रविशंकर को मंत्र विज्ञान के बारे में, और फिर हम समापन करेंगे इस पूरे कार्यक्रम का. तो आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट डॉक्टर सनी संधू, who is a passionate musician and who is someone who really pushed through the entire continuum of healthcare ecosystem. Dr. Sani Sandhu, we have kept you waiting. He was the first to join the forum today, so we felt that's his passion. He's just, I would say again, crazy about the discipline which he's leading all through. So let's hear Dr. Sani Sandhu at the crescendo of this Healing Forum 2020. यज्ञ की पूर्णाहुति की तरफ हम जा रहे हैं, और तब डॉक्टर सनी संधू का वक्तव्य हमारे सामने. Dr.
Thank you so much, Raghav, and thank you very much, Surbhi. So good to see you here, and it's been a long time after AIMS, and I've had a long journey after my MBBS. I was lucky to study Dhrupad with Ustad Asad Ali Khan, and Ustad Asad Ali Khan was, I think, one of the most profound musical exponents of Rudraveena. Rudraveena, as you know, is related to Shiva, and it's the most elaborate healing system in Indian culture to how to understand consciousness, how sound works, and how sound ultimately creates our reality. So I was lucky to study with him for 2 years before he passed away. And I also spent 3 years in Kerala studying with different teachers. One was a sun gazing teacher. His name was Surya Joel. He taught me a lot about how sun impacts our health and how you incorporate solar healing. And then there was Mr. Rajiv, who is from a little village, Murungodi in Kerala. He showed me a lot about naturopathy. I spent a lot of time with him. So these people helped a lot in creating a conscience within me, which was to understand and observe nature. Our healing is a sum total of our interaction with the natural world. Being human, who we are, is coming from this experience with the natural world and with these soundtracks that we live in. That is what describes our daily experience of health. So after I finished all this study, I went back to Punjab and I was working in Punjab, and basically I started moving towards more understanding. I'm originally from Punjab. I still have a farm there, and I go back to Punjab and we work on river dolphins. And for river dolphins, we started an education project to help children to go and study nature, to study river systems. And from there, my musical journey began. I wrote songs on river dolphins. And when we started understanding, okay, we want to preserve nature, because without pure nature, we cannot have health, we cannot be talking about Ayurveda. Ayurveda exists with plants. I have my formula of Kapasura Kudinir Churnam. This is my savior from COVID. I am trying to be as safe as possible. I have more trust in Indian Ayurveda, Indian Siddha medicine. This is Siddha medicine from South India. And I want to thank the farmers who made this formula, who grow this formula. So like this, we have so many beautiful things that we can promote, we can interact. And I learned a lot from organic farmers in Punjab. When I started working on river dolphin conservation, I understood our biggest challenge is Punjab agriculture, how we are developing our agriculture model. And so so I got engaged with organic farmers, and now you see the organic farming movement that we worked with, now they are sitting at the doors of Delhi. A lot of them are there. A lot of my friends like Kavita Kurungati from Asha, a lot of the people I worked with, they are sitting on the doors of Delhi. And what have they been asking the Indian government for a long time is to take the fertilizer subsidy, which is basically carbon dioxide going up into the atmosphere and destroying ecosystem, and give direct payment to the farmers so they can grow organic produce. And these are solutions which are available. There is indigenous thought which is present to us, which is available to us. And without this, we cannot live really a healthy environment. Without our food, without our pure Shuddha Anna, how can we have a...
आहार है जो डॉक्टर बिजलानी से लेकर और डॉक्टर संधू, आपका वक्तव्य है, कुछ गाकर डॉक्टर संधू आपके गायन और गीत को कुछ गा दीजिए आज इस एक श्रद्धांजलि श्रद्धा सुमन
गाएंगे जरूर. I will sing my song to the river dolphin of Punjab, my first song. आपको पता होगा दिल्ली में भी डॉल्फिन होती थी यमुना में, आपको शायद नहीं मालूम होगा. तो इतनी हिस्ट्रीज हमने एक्सप्लोर की हैं. So
we worked in Braj. We had got Admiral Sinha. He used to say that till 1975 Yamuna was still navigable, and in Braj from Vrindavan to Mathura we have traversed. So Agad Toyam Hridni Yamuna को कहा जाता था. The surface water used to merge with the aquifer, but all these dams, a whole lot of movements, power, energy. So the paradigm has to shift somehow. So anyways, that's later date. सनी संधू से एक लंबा वार्तालाप करने का बहुत समय से एक प्रकल्प रहा है, पर आज ये पकड़ में आए हैं. वोल्टेयर की धरती से गंगा की बात करते हुए और सनी संधू को हम सुनते हैं, और उसके बाद में अंत में मंत्र शक्ति का अवगाहन और आह्वान आचार्य वेदा रविशंकर जी के द्वारा. उसके बाद हम समापन की ओर बढ़ेंगे. डॉक्टर सनी संधू.
तो ये गीत बोलना जी, द रिवर डॉल्फिन, जो हमारे आपके यमुना में भी थी और खो गई है, तो उसको लेके आना दोबारा वापस. बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना, बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना. नारा दी तू रानी किन्नी सोनी तेरी तारी ओ यारी. बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना, बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना. You can sing with me. जाऊंगी तो करना भाई तेरे द्वारा जीना तू सिखाएगी तेरी तारियों यारी जी. बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना, बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना जी, बुल्लेना जी,
कहे नानक पवन गुरु पानी पिता माता तरस महत पवन गुरु पानी पिता माता तरस महत लहरा हनुमान लहरा हनुमान करो लहराना प्यार बुल्लना बुल्लना
तो स्थिरता का एक ही रास्ता है, आर्ट्स। इंडिया में आर्ट्स को स्कूल में लेके जाना है, ध्रुपद को स्कूल में दोबारा इसको रिसर्च करना है। That is the only way we will be able to survive this technological revolution. As right now we are seeing the dark side of the revolution. But we have to go to the positive. And it is important to support measures which reduce carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So we have to support organic farming. We have to stop destruction of the forests. We have to make sure that the river interlinking does not happen because it's a bad idea. So these are the ways we can find a good solution for our future. And voila, if you want me to sing another song for Ganga, I can sing for you.
He is such a, I would say, committed. हमने देखा कि किस प्रकार से शब्द भले ही समझ में ना आया, बुद्धि पर नहीं आया, पर जो स्पंदन है वो हमारे आनंदमय कोश को उसने उजान्वित कर दिया. So इस फोरम की जो श्रद्धा बिंदु है वो इतनी है कि we got back Dr. P. Ram Manohar in a short while back, and we have also got Professor Akshay Anand from PTI Chandigarh. He is really a revolutionary, I would rather say. The kind of hats he wears, the kind of affiliations, and the kind of passion this single professor has in him. He is really revolutionizing the whole integrated medical space. So I would request Professor Akshay Anand from the lovely city of Chandigarh to, yeah, he's just logging in. He just asked, can he come over and speak for a moment? He had another meeting. So we are just waiting for him to join. Yeah, Dr. Akshay Anand. Yes, he's here with us. So lo and behold, we have with us Professor Akshay Anand, the editor-in-chief of Integrative Medicine Case Reports. We just took this very small introduction of him, and let's hear him on what he has to say on this auspicious day of 2021. Sir.
Thank you, Raghavji, Surbhi-ji, and the entire organizing committee for this wonderful forum. And I already am seeing collaborators, people here whom I would like to collaborate to take our work forward. I'm honored, humbled, more so to be steadfast in the field, add more academic rigor to the field. Integrative medicine case reports really been a passion, not an ambition, because there are those people lying out there, the yoga studios and clinics who do not have access to ethical community. So even to the best of their imagination and effort, they cannot publish what is called as the important evidence from our traditional, or say it, call it integrative health research. So it's a lot of effort to put all the editorial board together to convince people to be a party to this important platform, because unless we have our traditional integrative resources documented in a viable, sustainable, and reputed journal, it follows the peer review, we will not be able to take science from right from ground till the hilt. And I believe, like a few who may disagree, that patenting is not a good idea. I think if India has to take its traditional knowledge to the World Forum, we need to develop a knowledge economy. We need to be conscious of quality that Dr. Y.K. Gupta alluded to. That also I noticed that in your forum you gave a similar honor to lady, I forget her name, who is embedded in a quality, is doing a lot of applying her quality tools. So it's very important with that quality, with that kind of documentation. If we also patent our resources, we can pretty much license that out to the world against a fee which we can use to build India's knowledge economy. And that is precisely the focus and mission that I'm working for towards leveraging India's knowledge economy and through integrative health approach. And second part I would like to say is to join hands with others and let's take our evidence level to molecular, because that's what the drug companies do and tell us all the receptors, the ligands. We study them in our physiology books, our molecular biology, genetics book, and all the fancy terminology that are given out to us as they walk into as medical representatives to my colleagues in clinics. We need to replicate that for our yoga, Unani, Siddha, and integrative health. And who else can do it better than India? It's us who's going to do it. It's us who's going to lead the world through intergovernmental efforts, through your platform, through these collaborators that you've brought me to talk to and have dialogue with. Thank you very much. It's an honor, and I'll keep the flag flying high. Thank you again.
To you, sir. Really lovely. And we come to the close of this Jnana Yagya. And हमने तंत्र की हमने यंत्र की बात की, तंत्र की बात की, और अवंततः मंत्र विज्ञान, which had been at the highest pedigree of the Indic knowledge systems. We would like to now invite Acharya Veda Ravi Shankarji, who has worked very closely with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and he has been furthering a host of resuscitation of the entire Indic paradigm, the Bharatiya Vidya, as we say. और किसी भी शुभ कार्य का, किसी भी यज्ञ का जो विराम है, क्योंकि यज्ञ तो ऐसे चलते ही रहने पड़ेंगे, केवल विराम होती है इस हमारे यहाँ कथा का। हम आचार्य वेदा रवि शंकर के चरण कमलों में प्रणाम करते हुए
नमस्ते नमस्ते, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। पहले स्टार्ट करने पहले मंत्र उच्चारण। ओम घम गणपतये नमः, ओम घम गणपतये नमः, ओम घुम गुरुभ्यो नमः, ओम घुम गुरुभ्यो नमः, ओम ऐं वद वद वाक्वादिन्यै नमः, ओम ऐं वद वद वाक्वादिन्यै नमः, ओम ऐं वद वद वाक्वादिन्यै नमः। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्मै तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। गुम गुरु गुरुनाथा, गुम गुरु गुरु गुरुनाथा, गुम गुरु गुरुवे चरणम गुरुवे चरणम गुरुवे चरणम गुरुवे चरणम। थैंक यू वेरी मच। आज बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, because first time we are entering in the modern tools and getting honor from Guru, because Dr. Hedgewar also is a Guru. Because when I'm in RSS headquarters in Nagpur, I read about his book, everything. First of all, he is a healer of the Guru. After that, he became studied in doctor and he became a doctor. So first he is a Guru of healer with the netra, because his eye is more powerful, magnetic power is there. When anyone to look his eyes, automatically the people will get melt with the heal. This is the most heal power, because ancient days they are using in our Tamil Nadu, in anywhere now, they can take a sand in their own hand and they will give it to patient. Okay, take a sand and you give it to home. What is this medicine? This is your permanent medicine for your whole life. Okay, because why? Because the walk, because walk is the first medicine. Walk is the first healer. That is why ancient days they are using the walk shakti. That is why most important walk shakti. That's why we chant walk shakti mantra. Om Aim Vata 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 Vata. When we teaching Vata Vata, the tip of the tongue touching with the teeth, because all the knowledge in center of the tongue, Saraswati is there, but we need to express through the tongue. That is the most powerful. That is why we have 32 security, 2 pillars to deliver our Vak Shakti, because earlier through the Vak Shakti only they can deliver the solution and healing and everything. So here mantra, tantra, yantra, prayoga. Recently we designed the project MTYP project with the DST, we designed and everything. We are planning to yet to submit to DST. The mantra, what is mantra? Bhavana. मन से क्या आने वाला है वो मंत्र है. तंत्र क्या है? मंत्र उच्चारण करने के समय भावना चाहिए, श्रद्धा चाहिए. दैट इज कल तंत्रा. एक्सटेंशन, एक्सपेंशन. यंत्र क्या है? उसका डिसिप्लिन चाहिए, कितना टाइम उच्चारण करना चाहिए, कौन सा आसन में बैठ के करना चाहिए. दैट इज कल यंत्रा. ठीक है. मंत्र तंत्र यंत्र होने के बाद किसके लिए करना चाहिए? प्रयोग. This is the most important, because we are treating the patient everything, but where to inject? Because when we doing heart surgery, we are cutting a particular space of the heart and we are making heart surgery. Like that, the prayoga means we want to integrate to going in deeper of the every cell of the body. That is called prayoga. Mantra, tantra, yantra, three synchronize and target to the prayoga. So this is the first time we are introducing in DST, and we are teaching to everyone. First this Ganesha, Muladhara Chakra, then Guru, brain, then Vak Shakti. When these three is in synchronized, then you will apply the prayoga method, that is called mantra, tantra, yantra, prayoga. And my guru belongs to Atharvaveda Shankaracharya of Sri Vidya Peedam. And Abdul Kalam invite my guru to the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Swamiji, now you have done lot of puja, yagna for the people, but you come to the scientific field, because scientific field is a different world, because science is the ruler of the people or people is ruler of the science. That is two controversy is going on in the world. So you want to say science is a part of the Veda, science is a part of the life. So you come. So that's why we entered DRDO, ISRO, CSIR, Army, everything, and 4 Vedic science project, Mantra Aushadha project. We done lot of project also. Still, even the Kumbh Mela, also we done, we brought ISRO, and because our part is integration. Because Vedic people sitting in one side and doing japa, science people sitting one side reading the books, but this Veda science is not integrated in our Bharat. That is the one of the feedback. So we are bridging between the science and the Vedas. This is the most important. Even Western Europe, because when we visited, they have the one war room is there. In the war room, one side is Sanskrit expert, linguistic expert, Vedic expert, scientific expert, doctor. They will sit and together to design it. But in India, that type of table is not there. That's why we are keeping the table in the parliamentary, because parliamentary is the decision making. So once Yada Raja, Tada Praja. When Raja is fine, then only Praja is fine. So we want to feed to the Raja. That is Atharvaveda and Sri Vidya, because earlier this Atharvaveda Sri Vidya belongs to the mass transformation. That's why we brought Vedic hypnosis for mass transformation with the Prayoga. So I am really very honored to take such a great Guru award, because this is a award of Guru. It is a prasadam. It's not a honor or any, it is a prasadam of the Guru through ReTHINK India. Because ReTHINK India, the name itself, ReTHINK. When you think in re, then only we can create new. Without research, we cannot create anything. So I am very proud ReTHINK India to bring the wisdom to the world and everyone. Namaste. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.
Rishi Shanti Mantra ke saath फिर we will just end this today's ceremony. A mantra.
Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. 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 Om Shanti, Sri Shanti, Klim Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Dhanyavad.